From the YBA Phoenix Fitness 24/7 basketball facility in Rockland, California, it's Bout That Life podcast with your host, Coach C. Collins and Coach MJ.
Get it started. 3, 2, 1, let's go.
Hey, it's Coach C. Collins, host of Bout That Life podcast. Coach MJ is not here, unfortunately, but that's because that man's working as always, and that's all good. Shout out to my brother. He's always doing his thing. If you are listening and you've been supporting, I very much appreciate you. You've been keeping up with the HBO special, helping a brother out, and it's always appreciated. If you watch the intro, if you're hearing this on Spotify or wherever you listen to your podcast, iTunes, whatever, you already see the cover sheet. You already see who I have as a guest, and we're going to get to that in a real quick second. Shout out to my first sponsor, Dr. Dish, best shooting machine on the market. They're the best shooting machine because they're the one that sponsors me. So I appreciate you guys. Let them know if you want a discount. Tell them About That Life podcast sent you. They'll hook you up with a good discount. They got all kind of models, the home model, the Rebel, the All-Star, whatever works for you and is great for you. Go ahead and get that and let them know About That Life sent you. And last but not least, shout out to Hardwood Palace. If you're looking for AAU tournaments, very consistent format, different levels, different skill levels, Hardwood Palace in Rockland, California is a good place to go. Hit up Steve R. Grant and let him know Coach C. Collins sent you or About That Life sent you. They'll hook you up for your first tournament with a discount. And as always, hopefully this show is helping you coaches out, helping you parents out, helping you athletes out to learn the game, live the game, love the game, right? But without further ado, let me get to my guest. Me and this brother have known each other kind of off and on for years now because I first heard about him when he was coaching and training one of my kids that's now about to be playing next year, Matthew Schroeder. And at that time, he had, I believe he had a facility in Atomas, right? And so he ended up working with my nephew and just a lot of good things like that. He's younger than me, so I'm the old guy. He's the young guy, but he's doing great work for himself. I really am glad he's here. We've been trying to make this podcast happen for probably like a year now, a year and a half, and he's taking the time to come here. It's morning time, which is usually different because we're usually shooting in the evening, so it works out for both of us. But without further ado, I want to introduce Coach Ryan Sypkens.
Thank you, Chris, man. I really appreciate you having me here, man. I'm excited because I know, like you said, we've been trying to do this for quite a minute. Yep. And, the schedules haven't really aligned, but I'm really glad we were able to make it work. And I was able to come in and see your space.
my little setup right here, man.
Setup, I love it.
No, I appreciate it, bro. First question off the bat. I always do this for my guests. You could talk to my audience, and as always, his information will be in the description, his Instagram, his business page, all that type of stuff. So I suggest after you listen, or if you're watching from the YouTube side, please go follow this man, see his journey. But break down, your basketball background. Obviously, you don't have to get into every super detail because they can look that up themselves. But your AAU experience, your college experience, all that good stuff. Please let the audience know who you are.
Man, so first and foremost, I'm gonna say that I love basketball since I can remember.
Yeah,
I love the game. This is what I dedicate my life to. I'm from Sacramento. Played at Franklin High School in Elk Grove, where despite all the odds, we were able to have a really successful year, especially my senior year, making it all the way to state playoffs. Unfortunately, we lost to McClymonds from your neck of the woods, but it was a real close game.
Yeah,
not making excuses, but I was a little injured that game.
Mac was really good that year too.
They were undefeated the whole season.
They were really good. Yep.
Had an NBA player, Will Cherry, on the team.
That was the team, Will Cherry, and the real tall, athletic kid with the dreads. I don't know. I can't think of his name right now.
Man, but he was dunking on.
Yeah, he dunked everything. Like I remember. Yeah. I was long out of high school then, but I remember watching that team play. So yeah, you guys, yeah, that was really two really good teams.
Nah, they were real good, and from there, I ended up being first team all Sacramento. Had a pretty solid high school career, but again, like you said, in high school, I kind of had to do everything for our team. Mm-hmm. I played, the wing, but I also have the all-time assist record at my high school.
Nice.
So distributor. But once I got to college, I actually earned a full ride scholarship to UC Davis. But before that,
shout out UC Davis.
Shout out UC Davis. Before that, I played my AAU ball in high school for the Bay Area Hoosiers.
Okay.
And Phil Doherty, who now is the guy that runs Prolific Prep.
Oh,
that's my connection with Prolific Prep.
Right,
Phil Doherty
right, yeah.
was running that program.
Okay.
And I love Phil, man. Great dude.
Makes
Does
sense.
a lot for the kids.
Yeah.
Even to this day, man. He's he's just a really good dude.
Yeah.
And so I played for the Hoosiers. And it's funny, and this is a topic that we might touch on later.
Yeah.
But I'm from Sacramento.
Yeah.
I went to go play for the Bay Area Hoosiers, fully sponsored team.
Yeah.
They had like 14 or 15 Division I players in my class in that program. They put me on the B team. I was pissed.
Yeah.
I was
You had
pissed.
to work your way up.
But in hindsight, it's the best thing.
Right.
Because for me, there was all these other guys that had offers from Arizona. They had a guy named Jared Cunningham. I think he went to Arizona State or something. Mm-hmm. They had a couple other guys. Jared ended up playing in the league.
Okay.
They had a couple guys like that.
Yeah.
On the B team, it was a way better fit for me.
Right.
Because I was able, to show what I could do
Mm-hmm.
and be kind of the focal point, the leading scorer on the B team. And this is, senior year. It's time to get that scholarship.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
So I was really, in hindsight, it definitely was better. Ended up earning a full ride scholarship to UC Davis, where I played, and again, as a freshman, I actually started at point guard. Then I started shooting the ball really well.
Yeah.
Moved me off the ball. Started, playing kind of off the ball more, and ended up becoming known as a really good three-point shooter. Kind of like you said, yourself, 3 and D.
3 and D, yep.
3 and D. I wish I would have kept playing more of the lead guard, but
Right, of course.
the coach gave me the green light, so I wasn't complaining at the time. But ended up breaking all of our school's 3-point records. Ended up breaking our conference all-time three-point record for the Big West Conference.
Very cool.
And, graduated with a great degree from one of the top institutions, UC Davis, and, still have a great network at that school. Mm-hmm. Still connected with the coaching.
Yeah, I saw on your social media you took your teams there recently for the games and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, we just went. It's funny because Coach Christian Bain,
mm-hmm.
who we'll talk about him later, but he also is a coach in our program, a head coach and a trainer,
mm-hmm.
and he played at UC San Diego.
Yeah,
I used to train him actually when he was playing. And so we took our entire program to watch Davis play against UC San Diego.
That's cool.
And those two teams at the time were tied for first.
Oh, nice.
In the conference. But UC San Diego blew them out. I don't know what happened.
But it's good the kids got to see it.
Nah, definitely. It was a great experience for them.
Nice.
They had fun. It's team bonding.
Right, of course.
And they got to do that. So from there, I went on to play overseas. I played in Japan.
Okay.
Lived right in the middle of Tokyo, which was a crazy experience.
Right.
Probably could have been a little more focused.
You young and you hooping, man.
Hey,
I
I definitely enjoyed my time there. I also played in Colombia, in South America.
Yep.
And then, it's funny because my boy, one of my good friends, his name is Kyle Oddister. I grew up playing with him my whole life. Also a great shooter,
mm-hmm.
really high-level shooter. He played at Cal Poly, San Luis Obispo.
Nice.
So I played against him in high school.
Yeah.
Rio Americano, played against him in college.
Yeah.
Played with him in middle school AAU. And, his mom has English citizenship.
Yeah.
So after he graduated, he went over to the UK and was playing out there.
Yeah.
And was also going to school, getting his master's. And that year, he was telling his coach, like, yo, we need to bring my boy Ryan over here, man. So then he actually hooked up the next job for me to go over there to England.
Oh, wow.
And I was going to go play with him.
All right.
And they had just won the championship there as well.
Yeah.
But I ended up turning it down because I had the opportunity to coach at Prolific Prep and be the skill development trainer. And, you know, it's funny, my wife at the time, she wasn't my wife yet.
Right.
But she was telling me, like, man, in the summertime right now, you kind of 1 foot in the training and coaching, 1 foot in the hooping, and I see you working hard, but you're not going to really win at either one unless you
gotta
go
pick one, yeah,
10
all
toes
in.
down right now.
Yeah.
But it was a hard balance because I was like, okay, well, I want to hoop, but you already know how the overseas grind is.
It is a grind.
And unless you get to that top level, a lot of times there's no guaranteed contracts. It's year to year. You get hurt, you on the next plane home.
Yeah. Plus, it's
you know, and
you know, as hoopers, it's sometimes hard to put the ball down. You know what I mean? Like
it
is. It is hard to make that transition.
It was really hard for me, and honestly, I was actually really upset with my wife or not my wife, but
I know. Yeah.
I was really upset with her at the time because I was like, how you going to tell me to quit doing what I love?
Right.
But she ended up being like, look, I'm not telling you to quit doing what you love, but I'm telling you that I believe in you and whatever you choose to do, I know you're going to win.
Right.
But I just think that you can't be divided in your focus right now.
Yeah.
And she helped me come to that decision of, okay, this is something that I could do forever. It's not something that, you know, if I get injured, I'm done.
Yeah. True.
I could build something now. Imagine if I kept playing until I'm 35, 36.
Right.
And then I come back home and now I'm starting from square
No,
one.
yeah, you don't
as
have
opposed to
anything.
being 27, 28.
Yeah.
And then by the time I'm 35, I'm going to be extremely established. I'm going to have, you know, be able to build some wealth for my family, be able to build a foundation and everything like that, and set myself up for the long term.
Yep.
And that's kind of like the decision that I came to, which was really, believe me, even now, I'm like, man, I wish I could just go hoop for one more day. And Chris, you know I still got a little bit.
Yeah, you
came
do.
to the gym.
True. Very true.
So
Very true.
I stay in shape now, you know, and I got some of these pros and stuff that I train. And, you know, I'm a very competitive.
Yeah. No doubt.
Very competitive, sometimes to a fault.
We all, it's bro, it's in all of us. We can't help it.
So for me, you know, when I maybe we go ones or we have runs or something.
Yeah.
If one of these dudes like kind of bust my ass one day, you best believe I'm gonna start working out crazy. I'm like, all right, in 2 weeks,
For real.
I'm coming for you,
You
right?
can't help it, man.
But yeah, I try to stay in pretty good shape, and you know, I work out every day. I still have fun with it,
Yeah.
and man, I'm probably like 3 months away from actually being able to actually hoop, probably.
Yeah. But this
I'm not doing
lifestyle,
it.
you know, what we do, it keeps us active, so that's good. You know
No
what I
doubt.
mean? Because like I said, I count my blessings that I can still walk and run and move at all. Because like I said, when I tore my Achilles, I thought, shit, bro, I thought I could never even run again, let alone still get out there and play ball. So
No doubt.
trust me, bro, this job, this career path we've chosen does keep us active. So I'm grateful for that.
It's funny. It's funny you say that because, you know, being active is great and being able to do it and still be able to make money and be able to be in shape, be able to take care of yourself. Because when I first stopped playing for about a year and a half,
Yeah.
I was like, man, this is the first time in my life I don't got to work out every day.
Right.
I'm chilling. I was chilling, like, and then I started seeing like, dang,
Right. Yeah.
I gotta put on a couple pounds real quick. And then now it's like to the point where like being an active, in shape, healthy person
Yep.
is like top priority.
You
to
learn
where
to
it's
appreciate
like,
it.
man, when you work out every day, you feel better every day. Your energy levels are higher. You feel better about yourself. It brings discipline. Just when you're disciplined in general, it just your mindset, your energy, your vibration is just higher in
It
general, in
translates.
every single part of your life.
Absolutely.
Even as a husband,
Yeah.
with your family, like you just live at a higher level.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that you know, just that basis, like every single morning I wake up and I work out, first thing I do.
Yeah.
And whether some days I keep it light. I run 3 miles, I'm done.
That's it.
Some days I go harder.
Yeah.
You know, but it's just about the consistency of it.
And that's the hardest part. It's always
No
the hardest
doubt.
part. That's the key word, consistency. So then you made the decision to go into the training / coaching aspect of Prolific. And then from there, is that kind of where you started establishing yourself, your brand, your business and things like that?
So I actually, man, when I first started, it was summertime, and I just made a Facebook post. And I was like, hey,
Okay.
I'm starting to do training. If anyone's interested in training with me.
All the kids are going to be like, Facebook, you old motherfuckers.
Yeah, hey, for real. It was literally on the Facebook wall, like before.
Right.
Nah, because like I remember when IG first came out, it was only on iPhones. And
Yeah.
I didn't have an iPhone.
Yeah,
I didn't have that. So people was making fun of me, like, you can't even get on here. I remember when I got my first iPhone, I only wanted it to get IG. But yeah, but now I was on Facebook, and because I know like some of the people I grew up with, their parents, and like actually my first client was this guy who used to be my older brother's elementary school basketball coach.
Okay.
Mr. Paris, I still talk to him. That's my guy. And he was like my first client ever. As soon as I put on there, he said, "Oh, I love that my son come and working with you."
Yeah.
And he used to get me in. He still worked at an elementary school, like way out in Wilton.
Yeah.
And I used to drive to
Drove
Wilton,
that.
get into the elementary school gym. He was my first client.
That's what's
And
up.
then I was just working him out. And then, it's just funny how when you do great work, then you get results. One person tells one more person.
Yeah.
And they tell 2 people. And
Yeah.
they tell 4 people.
Word of mouth
And
is a
slowly
powerful
but
thing.
surely, we started growing the clientele. I was training people anywhere, when you start. I was at CalFit.
Yeah.
I was at elementary school playgrounds.
Mm-hmm.
We was at, 24-hour fitness.
You have a duffel bag, and that's your
Yeah.
equipment, and you take it where you need to go.
And then the dude over there at the church off of by Massey Court. What's that church called? South Side off of Mack Road. They have the King's Court in there.
I know what you're talking about. I
Yeah.
can't think of the name. I know what you're talking about.
So I started training people in there, and they used to have like this yellow court. It was ugly, and I started training. They was helping me out though.
Yeah.
Like, I really appreciate them because they helped me out. They gave me a space to kind of grow.
Yeah.
And then from there, I ended up going over there where Coach Dre, which is next door where we're at now.
Yeah.
And I leased a half court from him, like sublease from him.
Yeah.
And I was able to really build my business there. So shout out to Coach Dre Woolridge, man. He helped me out and gave me a space as well,
Right.
to be able to help grow and cultivate my vision.
Yeah.
And anyone that ever gave me an opportunity like that and allowed me to have a space, because that's one of the hardest things in this game.
Yeah.
Consistent space to do what you do, right?
Yeah.
And because it's expensive. I
It
know
is. Yeah.
So it gets expensive, but being able to have a consistent space to grow your business, to grow your brand. And again, I always tell people like this: at Touch Shooting, we're result oriented.
Mm-hmm.
Everything we built, the reputation, the brand, all of that, it starts with the results.
Very true.
The
Very
word
true.
of mouth.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what we're all about, like making sure that the quality of what we're doing, the training, the teaching, the coaching, and not just the basketball side, but like you said, the things that translate beyond basketball, that go beyond the game.
These are life skills.
That translates to life and translates to everything, really. And just habits, like discipline, like all those things, and being able to get those results consistently.
Yeah. Well,
And that's kind of what we really been able to build.
good.
Now we went to Natomas.
Yeah.
That's our first facility. We
Yeah.
were able to get our own floor and everything like that.
Yeah.
And then COVID hit. So
I know. Yeah.
that was kind of,
That shifted a lot of things.
it
for
was
sure.
a hard time because,
Yeah.
we had to shut down. Hey, you can't operate. You can't pay that overhead.
Yeah.
So we had to shut down, put our court in storage, put everything in storage for like a year. And then we were able to find the space we're in now.
Mm-hmm.
And,
And you've turned that space into your own. You definitely have.
yeah, we have. And it's going, it's great. It's a lot of work, but we're growing every month. We're growing. We're growing now. We're trying to grow, add more trainers. I think one of the biggest things for us, like we said, we're result oriented. So for me, we're trying to create systemized ways to make sure that anyone that we bring in to Touch Shooting as an instructor or a trainer, that we can properly train them
Yeah.
so that we can keep the level of the training and the instruction at a certain level.
Yeah.
And also consistency. So it's not just like you could be coaching a concept in basketball, and I could be coaching the exact same concept, but we might be using different terminology,
Yeah.
right? So in our gym, I want everything to be consistent. So if Coach Christian's training a kid or coaching a kid, and then the next practice or training, he's coming and training with me, that kid don't get confused.
Yeah, he's hearing the same
terminology.
It's being all echoed throughout the gym. Yeah,
it's repetition too. Yeah. It's repetition, a mental repetition. Like, we're using the same verbiage, so now we're talking about the same thing. Now, like, especially as a coach, you got to have verbal cues. Like in a game, it's like I say the same word. When I expect something from something, we have a verbal cue for everything. So all I got to do is say that word, boom, they know what I'm talking about. And it's like, it's repetition, right? So we're trying to create, we have a curriculum and all of that where the verbiage, the concepts, everything is consistent. And every coach that comes in at Touch has to kind of learn that so we can keep it consistent. But at the same time, it's all concept-based. So it gives the coaches still the opportunity to have creativity and bring what they bring to the table. Like, you know what I mean? But at the same time, it's like there's certain concepts and a philosophy that is a non-negotiable. Yeah.
And the good part is, I would say, because obviously I've met your coaches and staff, like shout out to Amir and Christian. I follow them. They follow me on IG, and they've always been very respectful and cool when I talk to them. I really like Amir. I think he's a good young dude. Got a lot of potential.
Amir was my high school teammate.
Yeah. I saw that. I saw that when you guys got shout out for his birthday. Like, no, I think he's got a lot of good potential. Christian as well. And this is just from my experience of coaching against him and talking to him and stuff like that. And no, you've surrounded yourself with a good supporting staff, and I think that's a hard part in our business because, and this is just, for those who are listening, this kind of circles back to a direct question I was going to ask him anyway. So just know we're following script. But no, it was, in our business, and what I mean by that is Ryan is a black business owner who functions in the business of basketball, same as myself. I'm a black business owner in Rockland who functions in the business of basketball. And there's a cultural side of it and there's a business side of it. And trying to find the balance between both is not always easy, right? And, we'll speak on that a little more in depth later. But what I was saying is trying to find people that you can trust, I feel, is the hardest thing in this business, because you just never know. People come in with ulterior motives. There's plenty of people who've come in with IBA with the intention of either self-sabotaging, poaching kids, whatever, things like that. And we just, me and Ken and all of us, we just know it's part of the game. It's just like you take a risk on someone, hoping that they're being honest with you and can see the value in what you do here, but you ultimately don't know everybody's intentions, right? So absolutely. I think the foundation of business is trust, and that's always I hate to say in this game that we play, in this business that we play, you don't know who you can trust sometimes until they show you who you are. So that's just my take on it overall.
Nah, man, and you hit the head on the nail.
Yeah,
you hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, and that's part of the reason why with Touch, we've been very patient in terms of hiring people and adding trainers and trying to be very careful.
Yeah.
And luckily, we have some great guys like Coach Barry, who now has been able to build himself up and become a very notable trainer in the area.
Yep.
And now he has decided to take the step and move on and try to do his own thing, which is great.
Right.
Like, that's really what we want.
Yeah.
We want guys to be able to come in and use our platform, but at the same time, great business is mutually beneficial.
Yeah,
it has to be mutually beneficial.
It's enough for everybody out here.
So we have a great, system of like, hey, for us, like when you come in, you get a really good commission split, right? 70%.
Yeah.
If I'm just gonna be open, 70%, 70-30.
Very good commission
very
split.
Good commission split. On top of the fact that we are going to give you a platform to help you build your brand. We're going to give you resources to help you build your brand under the umbrella of Touch.
Yeah.
And on at the same time, we're also going to give you a lot of clients. Because right now, if I'm being honest, like there's only so many hours in the day. Like I personally have a wait list of over 40 kids that I can't even fit in my schedule.
Right.
Because I only have so many hours.
Yeah.
And I've decided to cap my hours too, because it's like, I can't be on the court 10 hours every day.
Yeah.
It's just unsustainable.
Yeah.
So, now it's like you getting 70%. We're giving you clients. We're helping you build, which is what I want to do because I want to help people be able to establish themselves if they really want to do this.
Yeah.
That's kind of like one of my dreams, being able to help other people establish themselves and, you know, build a brand and become a high-level trainer and coach because, like, I wish I had somebody that helped me do it like that, which 100%. I did to a certain extent.
Yeah.
But not the same way, right?
Yeah. We like I say for guys like us, people open doors, but we created our own lane.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's why I look at it.
And you know, the for me, the trade-off is like, hey, man, it's mutually beneficial. We're going to give you this platform. We're going to help you. But when it comes time for, hey, I need you to coach this team, or, hey, man, I need you to run these classes that are more like a clinic-style class, and for this class you get paid hourly.
Yeah.
I need you to give me your full effort and really put it in.
Yeah.
And that's like the trade-off because now you're helping touch shooting grow, and we're helping you grow.
Simultaneously while
it's
you're
a
growing.
mutual beneficial.
Exactly.
And we've had, you know, there has been some issues in the past where guys that were just wanted to benefit from everything, but then when it came to their part to help grow the business, they were like, oh, not showing up or whatever the case may be, not giving
and
the
you're getting
effort.
that's just part of business.
That's
You're
just
gonna run
part
into
of it.
that. Yeah.
But you know, that's kind of like where I'm trying to find people that understand, hey, the mutual benefit between us, and if we both help each other win, then everybody eats, everybody wins.
Exactly.
But it can't. But when you go into anything, I think the important thing is to go in seeing, hey, how can I add value? Like, what can I do to add value to this? Because if I add value to this, everything grows.
Right.
As opposed to, like you said, a lot of people go into situation. I'm sure you dealt with this. What can I extract?
Yeah, of course.
I'm gonna go, this business or this company or this brand or this person has built up and done a lot of things, and they have all these resources. Okay, well, I'm gonna go be part of this to see what I could extract from it.
Yeah, always.
Which is, in my opinion, the wrong mindset, but it's very common.
Yeah.
And as opposed to, man, how can I add value? Which in the long, and really, when you add value, the long-term benefits for you is even that much higher.
Yeah.
Because even myself, like with Prolific Prep as an example, I didn't go to Prolific Prep like, oh, they got these top players. What player can I take and make my
or
player?
what can I what player can I attach myself to?
Exactly. It wasn't that. It was like, no, I'm just gonna wake up at 4:30 a.m. every day, drive to Napa, train dudes
crazy.
before school,
Yeah.
and whoever wants to be there is gonna be there, and we gonna grind. We gonna get better, and we're gonna help this team be better. I'm gonna be part of this team. I'm gonna help this program grow. In which it was needed. Like, you're at a top prep school with NBA prospects. They need someone there that's going to help develop the players.
Yeah.
Or else players ain't going to want to be there, right?
Right.
So for me, it's like, well, okay, what can I do to add value to this program? I'm going to go above and beyond. And that's why even to this day, Jeremy Rosati and Phil Doherty, anything I need, they will do.
Nice.
Because they see the way that I work, my work ethic, and that, hey, man, if they need something, I'll do. If they call me up right now, it's like, hey, I need you to come to Prolific and do this. I'm there. I don't necessarily work there anymore.
Yeah. But
like
you
all the
built
time.
that relationship.
We have the relationship because, you know, and it was 1,000% mutually beneficial. And now they help me out with things if I need it. If they need me for something, I'll help them out. Like Phil Doherty will hit me up sometimes like, hey, man, I got this player that's going to be in SAC, and I haven't seen him play for a while. Can you just work him out and evaluate this player for me so I know, like, where I could try to help him?
Yeah.
So I'll do that.
Yeah.
You know, just like little things.
Yeah. But it's all about the
know?
relationships and partnerships and things like that. That's how me and you got closer. You know what I mean? Because, again, from last year, for those who might know, but if you don't know, me and him worked together. I was able to get an Adidas contract last year and establish the contract for the long run, and he was a big part of helping me with that. But at the same time, I was able to help him because I gave his kids a platform and a chance to go at their level and a coach. Introduce you to Coach Sam and
shout out to Sam, my
shout
dog.
Out to Sam, man. Yeah, exactly. Great dude, great coach. Like, it's all about the relationships. You know what I mean? And through the course of that journey, I would like to think me and you gained a great mutual respect and understanding of where each other both come from. You know what
Absolutely.
I mean? And it's like,
And not to mention, both of our teams were able to be really successful.
True.
And go to that.
made it to Rock Hill.
Rock Hill, South Carolina, with
Yeah.
the real 3SSB.
Yeah, and see what that
tournament.
shit was like, and
Exactly.
see like
which
all-
gave our kids a great opportunity, because a
Yeah.
lot of our kids wouldn't have had that opportunity. Right?
exactly.
So it was really good.
We had to advocate for the freshmen.
We had to advocate. But mind
yeah.
you, we should have been in it. They were, we ain't going
Right.
to get into it. But
exactly.
all I'm going to say is that according to the rules,
All right.
but you know how that goes.
Yeah, man, but we made it, and we were the very not too many NorCal teams period made it, and we were lucky enough to be one of the ones that won and fought tooth and claw to get there. So that's just so people understand, like me and Ryan's background, and well that circles back to basically my overall question. You know, you see the landscape of training, you see the landscape of AAU basketball, you see the landscape of basketball today. What's your overall perspective? You know, pros, cons, whatever you want to speak on. You know, obviously, I know you're going to touch on as best you can. I know you don't want to step on no one's toes, but on this podcast, I really try to get. You know, I want people to see the human side of you. You know, because a lot of people, just like me, I think they see the coach, the guy screaming in the stands. Like I think I'm pretty much fucking known for that, for
Yelling
cursing
at
and
the
screaming.
refs
Yeah, yelling at refs,
That's
right?
me.
And like that's like a lot of people just know you from the social media platform, this guy's training this, you know, D1 guy, this NBA guy, you know, they see the open runs. And quite honestly, I think a lot of motherfuckers are envious of you, just being straight up. You know, guys like myself, Marcus Kirkland.
Shout out Marcus.
Yes,
man. I just want to shout out Marcus, because one thing with Marcus, man, he's so loved.
Yeah.
Like, crazy since I first met him, which
Yeah.
was like me and Marcus, when I first started training, he had hit me up like, yo, keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
And then he started, like, even Keegan.
Yeah.
He's the one he was Keegan's pretty much brother-in-law.
Yeah.
He's Keegan's brother-in-law, and he was like, hey, Keegan, you need to go work with this guy, because this guy could help you. And and it's like nothing, no ego, nothing about himself.
Marcus is one of the most selfless people.
Man, he gonna do whatever is best for that person, regardless. It don't have nothing to do with him, which is like, which is rare. It's rare.
And like me and Marcus,
No.
people see us on social media talk shit to each other all the time,
Yeah,
right? And he be laughing. We both laugh about it, because people are like, he'll have people hit him up like, man, I don't fuck with that dude either. And Marcus is like, bro, he's my
Dog.
boy, he's my best friend. Like, we just fucking around with each other. Like,
That's my dog. What you mean?
He would take
people
it
are so
so
quick to
serious,
start
bro.
talking shit for
Exactly.
no reason. It's like, why? Like, you don't even know this dude.
Yeah, and that's part of the reason why I have guests like my last guest was Sean Chambers, right? And Sean,
legend.
he gets a lot of backlash, and Sean's I mean, look, you gotta. If you want to be successful in this business, in this game, you do kind of have to have a headstrong, an edge. You got to have vision, right? And everyone's not going to share in that vision, but it doesn't mean that their vision is downplaying yours. It's just ours. It's just our individual vision that we're trying to create and make to fruition. So I think a lot of people just don't know this side of you. So that's why I kind of create this platform and invite people on this show to have a chance to humanize you, and hopefully they listen to this or see this and go, oh man, I've never seen this dude, but I seen that episode, and he seems like a great guy. You know what I mean? Like, that's overall. No. So just circle back to my question, like, just what's your overall perspective when it comes to this AAU world, right where it sits today?
That's a loaded question.
A little bit. Yeah, it is true. It is a little bit.
Man, to be honest with you, if I'm being completely honest, man, I never, ever, ever wanted to do AAU.
Okay.
I didn't. And I love development. Like, even as a player, I realized that one of my favorite things about being a hooper was the grind. The summer grind. Waking up in the morning hooping, going running ones with the homies.
Doing open runs, all that shit.
Open runs, hooping, talking shit.
Yeah.
You know, like just the culture behind it. Like
absolutely.
the culture. Like, that's what I really love. I love putting in the work. I love getting shots up. Like, I'm a real shooter.
Yeah.
Like,
True.
Hey, I'm not arrogant or cocky.
No,
At
you
the end
are.
of the day,
I played open run against you. Like, I know.
Numbers don't lie, right? So like, but the reason why I became a shooter like that is because I really love that shit. Like, it's therapy. Like, every single day, like, I put shots up.
Yeah.
Like, there's no, like, if I didn't get shots up, I felt weird.
Yeah.
Like, literally, it was just like that's what I did.
Ray Allen was like that.
Yeah, like, even if it's like, man, if I'm dead tired and even after games, I would go, hey, 30 minutes, let me get some reps up.
Yeah.
After practice, before practice, 30 minutes. But people don't realize that 20, 30 minutes adds up.
It does.
And if you do it every single day, you know what I'm
up.
saying? It's consistency.
Yeah.
So ultimately, like, that's what I really love. So I didn't really want to do AAU because I saw the culture. I saw, like you said, it's just, how do I say this diplomatically? So what I see is that a lot of AAU programs are more so about building up the program or building up the coach's pedigree versus what's really best for the kids.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
It's a fair assessment. Fair answer.
In which I get,
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, everybody wants to have their program be the best program. Everybody wants their brand. I do too.
Yeah,
So I
of course.
I
Yeah.
get that, right?
Yeah.
Like, we all should want that, but in my opinion, there's a way to go about that still puts the kids first and what's best for the kids first. And that's one thing that's kind of like our mission with my program with Team Touch, is that, hey, we're going to, and this is something that I saw because I was training kids. Like, for example, when I was first starting, there's one kid in particular, Ben Roseboro, who you know.
Yeah, of course.
And I saw that, he was playing for a bunch of these different teams, but I was training him, and I was really, we were training high-level concepts at a younger age, pro-style stuff, reads, habits, right? It's about habits. And he was playing for all these different teams, but wasn't really being coached. And he was getting bad habits.
Yeah.
And he also there was no accountability because he's mind you, this is a kid that was windmilling in 8th grade. Like, super talented, right?
Trust me. He
and
everybody wanted Ben.
Yeah, everybody wanted Ben. And so sometimes with kids like that too, the coaches are gonna tell the kid what they want to hear and not what they need to hear.
Yep.
And there was a little bit of accountability with him. He was able to just do whatever he wanted, and he was so much better than all the other kids. Like, he would drop 40 points playing 50% effort, like, literally. And then I would be the guy that's like, bro, you ain't playing hard. Like, I'm getting pissed at him.
Right.
He was like, man, 40, man. I'm like, okay, I get that.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
But
But you're seeing the bigger picture.
But I'm seeing, like, okay, well, your dream is to get to the league or get to college, get to high level, whatever, and it ain't gonna work because you're bigger, stronger, and more athletic than kids now. But once you get to a high level, everyone's gonna be like that.
Yeah.
So what separates you, right? And I'm seeing that at a young age.
Right.
So if I'm being completely honest, Ben is like one of the main reasons why I even started Team Touch and started doing AAU.
Okay.
Because I wanted to bring these guys in and start being able to hold them accountable, teaching them how to play real basketball, how to play man-to-man defense, rotate, building habits, how to talk on defense, like the little things that these kids aren't doing.
Speak on that real quick, just because JJ Redick's podcast had a big segment on that, and you just said it, so it just popped in my head. And you probably know this too because you played overseas or whatever, but in like European countries and stuff, you can't play zone from age, because I think they start at 6, 7 until you're like 14 years old, 13 years old, depending on the country. But most of those, in the UK and stuff, you can't run zone. If you run zone, I think one time as a tech, 2 or 3 times you like get disqualified or your team can get disqualified. They're serious about that shit. Yeah, like they're serious about it. Like, you know what I mean? So yeah, I was curious of your thoughts on it. Do you like? I know just on like a sidebar, but yeah, no, I'm a big proponent of that. JJ said it best. He said, when you run zone against a group of 9-year-olds, it's a cheat code.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? They can't pass more than 10, 15 feet accurately. They can't shoot the 3 at a high clip. If you just got a couple of kids, 1 or 2 kids that are extremely bigger, and you just sit them in the paint, and then you just have the other kids kind of contest and run around the ball, it's basically a cheat code to win.
You're not doing nothing. And for me, like, like some people think like I'm against zone or I'm against pressing. It's not that I'm against it at all, because
against it
all
either.
of this stuff is important and it's part of basketball.
Yes.
But I just believe, and it's the same philosophy that I have with training.
Yeah.
You have to teach people step by step.
Yeah.
So like I agree. I don't think that young players should really play zone, but I think that it should be a progression.
Yes.
Man-to-man principles and habits are the foundation of every defense you're going to run. So if you're teaching a zone before you teach these kids a real man-to-man defense, you're skipping steps.
Exactly.
Because a real zone, if a real zone is a matchup. It's just a matchup. It's really essentially man-to-man in the area, especially like a 2-3 matchup. It's a man-to-man in the area. The principles are the same. The ball moves, you got to jump to the ball.
Yeah.
You got to be on the help.
You got to be in
you gotta
different
talk.
positions, all that. Yeah.
You got to rotate. You know what I'm saying? And it's like you still have to guard a player. You're not just standing and guarding air.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, and you see it all the time, we play against these AAU teams, and they run a 2-3 zone the entire game, and the kids are just standing in a spot with their hands
and
up.
they just move like
and they
shadowing the ball and
and it's not real. And then when these kids get to high school and you actually have to teach them a shell drill, they don't even know how to do a basic shell drill.
What I was
at all.
finding out is kids were equating shell drill thinking it was a zone.
Yeah.
Because they run zone so much, their brains equate that shell drill they're learning is zone, and you have to really keep reminding them, no, this is man to man. This is a construct simulation of man to man movement. That's what shell drill is. It's just we're trying to teach you like
the habits.
Yeah, you know what I mean. But what I was finding out was kids were carrying that over in zone principles in their head and doing that in the game, and not understanding they have to move parallel to their man. They have to see where the ball is and their man is. Ball, you man. Like they just couldn't carry it over, and that's where for me I started breaking my algorithm in terms of how I teach man to man and piece by piece by piece by piece by piece.
Because once you learn that, then you got to learn the rotation.
Yeah.
How to X out on the weak side, how to close out. Like I believe no middle.
Yeah, me too.
That's pretty much every high college and pro. There's no middle. If you let good players get to the middle,
that's exactly.
So you got to understand how to close out, how to slide, all these little habits. Right. And that's what we're about, is building habits. And this is the thing: when you're teaching young kids to do this, a lot of them can't do it yet. They don't know how to guard. No. So what a lot of coaches will do is like, okay, we're playing man-to-man defense the whole game, and my players can't play man yet, and they getting cooked. Yeah. It ain't working. Let's go to a zone. Yeah. It ain't working. We're going to go to a press. But then you're pretty much hiding their deficiency. Right. And this is a hard thing, because now you might lose some game. You are going to lose. You're going to lose. No, you're going to lose games before you win. Through that process, 100%. Your team is going to look bad. Yeah. And now the parents that don't really, or maybe never really hoop like that, or maybe they don't really see what we're seeing. Yeah. They're like panicking, like, oh my God, when my son plays for this other team, he scores 20 points. But it's like, okay, your other team is running a zone press the whole game, and they're getting steals and layups, and they got 7 or 8 layups, and that's 16 of their points right there. Exactly. But now when you play real basketball, their kid don't know how to play. Right. And it's the same way that we teach offense. We're teaching all pro style action. So the kids are we're putting them in a decision making position every single time. Right. And in the beginning, I'm telling this kid to run a ball screen. He don't know how to make the pocket pass or the hook pass. No. He don't know how to make the right decision. Nope. So guess what? They turning it over. They shooting bad shots. Yeah. And to a parent that don't really understand what we're trying to do, this ain't the right fit. My son don't look good right now. But it's like, okay, if you were here for your son to just look great and they were just going to be successful the whole time, how are they going to grow?
They're not going to get better.
How are they going to get better? So, and I tell people this before they come to our program: your kid is going to struggle. Yeah, it's a design that way.
They're going to lose. They're going to lose before they learn how to win.
Exactly, and they're gonna look bad. It's probably going to take, because we practice 1 time a week. Yeah, to teach this type of stuff,
it's going to take a while.
It takes a while. Yeah, for real. Like, because we could just draw up a set play every time, and it would work way more often now. Yeah, but it takes away the decision making process for that kid. Yeah. And now that kid, so now you know this better than ever. If you're a guard and you want to play college basketball or pro, you have to be very efficient in a ball screen situation.
Yeah, 100%.
You have to understand how to run DHOs and be very efficient.
Yep.
You have to understand all these different actions, split actions, how to move without the ball, how to cut, how to read screens.
Absolutely.
You know, you have to understand how to run a double stagger screen, like all these different actions. So like when we teach offense, you're going to see all of these actions at some point in our offense. So now the idea is that, hey, you've done this for so long, it don't matter where you play.
Yeah.
Because if you go to any college, you're going to see ball screens, DHOs, stagger screens, split action, whatever the case may be.
Zoom actions, all
Zooms.
of them. Yep.
You're going to see that. So now your kid has at least seen and done that enough times to where it's not a foreign language and they're kind of like more well-versed and understanding. And then just the basic spacing principles, like teaching kids like, hey, baseline drive, if you on the other side, you got to be in the corner.
Yeah.
Like kids don't even know that. Like
Right.
they just stand around and they don't even know how to make themselves available. Or bigs, like they don't know how to move, like how to play the dunker
Move
spots.
opposite of the ball.
Exactly.
And
They
just,
don't- they don't know.
relocate, get themselves open.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And it's
100%.
like I tell kids all the time, you ever play with that one big man that every time you drive he's just in the
He
way?
just stands there. He's
Yeah.
like looking at you, come at him, and he just you're like,
he don't
move
know
the
how-
hell out the way. No, I
Yeah.
know exactly what you're
So
talking
it's
about.
like you want to teach kids that at a younger age, and it's hard because like it's read and react offense, and these kids don't know yet, and it takes time.
Yeah, because they don't process as quick, and
Yeah.
and again, it takes reps and reps and reps and
Man,
reps.
It
And
takes time, and even me, like I like with coaching, I get it. I'm like I said before, I'm so competitive. I want to win.
Of
like
course.
I want to win.
Right.
We're
yeah,
hoopers.
yeah, exactly.
But at the same time, it's like the really, really, really mature youth coaches, in my opinion, you have to be able to take your ego out of it
yeah,
and be like, okay, win or lose, right now this isn't about winning or losing. At this age, at least, this is about development.
yeah,
So we're not going to handcuff the kid. We're going to keep going at it and playing a certain style of play, regardless if we're going to lose games now, because this is what's going to, in the long term,
exactly.
is going to help these kids.
And know
Right.
that you're going to take some L's along the way and
Yeah.
just adapt and figure it out. So
I think the hardest part is getting the buy-in from the families,
100%.
the kids, and the players, because nobody wants to see their kids struggle. It's so hard, and I get it. I don't have kids yet.
right.
So, and I know you have kids.
Yeah, I got a daughter and 2 sons.
So I know. So I can imagine that watching your kids struggle, or your kid might have.
See
a
me, I'm an
bad game.
asshole. I laugh.
Yeah,
When I see my son
you
trigger
also,
push, but
you
I
know
also-
what it
yeah,
takes. You
exactly.
also know what it takes to get to that high level. So
But I'm
it's like
watching my
different.
son airball lamps. I'm like, you suck, dude. And I'm just laughing. But no, I get you're right. Like I just
but
learned
it's
to
so
laugh
hard.
at
Like
it.
I have people that call me sometimes, but now that our program, we've been, and mind you, Team Touch has only been around for 3 years.
Yeah.
And one of those years was COVID.
Yeah.
So we're very new, and I feel like in a short amount of time we've been able to establish not only obviously the training side, but even the AAU side as being, people around here know what Team Touch is.
of course.
and
Yeah.
they're really well
Yeah,
respected.
yeah.
So now I think at this point, because of the results, and we've had a lot of kids that have come through Team Touch, even kids that literally on there's a couple kids that were like not even getting minutes at all on our team when they were in 8th grade, and now they're like the best player on their high school team.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like that's just a testament, because I have a lot of people that tell me like, how can my kid develop if they're on the bench? But I'm like, at the same time, I get where you're coming from.
Right.
But at the same time, this isn't just a team where you're just sitting on a bench. Like
No.
there's a reason why you're sitting on the bench.
Exactly.
And sometimes the bench is the best teacher.
Mm-hmm.
Even for myself. If my coach is yelling at me like, Ryan, you got to get to the help side.
Right.
But I stay in the game.
Yeah.
I'm going to be like, all right, bro.
You're right.
I'm going to keep
Exactly.
moving. But
But
if
now
that,
you
if he
sitting there
said,
and you like,
if he like, you on a bench and I'm sitting on that bench for a minute, I used to be hot. So I get it. Like I'm sitting on a bench, like my blood is boiling.
Right,
Like, put
right.
me in the deal.
But I guarantee you'll go weak side
But
now.
hey, guess what? When I go back in the game, I'm gonna be on that helpline and I'm gonna exaggerate that shit.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna look at the coach like,
I'm
yeah,
here. I'm here. Like, leave me
yeah,
alone.
don't take me out. I did what you asked. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm trying to get people to understand is like that's what we should be telling the kid.
Yeah. But
We shouldn't go in the car and be like pissed off, like, yeah, your coach should have played. Like, and I'm gonna be real. Like, my dad's not gonna like that I say this, but I remember when I was young, sometimes my dad would do that with me.
Yeah.
Like I might not have the best game. He'll get in the car and be like, man, you would have had 20 if your teammate would have passed you the ball, or you would have if your
Right.
coach would have just left you in. But no, you need to be telling them, like, for me, I feel like it would have been more beneficial. And mind you, my dad was a very supportive, amazing father.
What's your dad's name?
His name is Jerry.
He follows me.
Yeah, my dad loves basketball, man.
No,
he a junkie.
because I saw,
Yeah.
I just recently, it said Jerry's. I was like,
Yeah.
and I looked at the picture and I said, oh, I was like, this got to be his dad. So,
Yeah, that's
okay,
my
so
dad, yeah.
that's what I thought. And shout out to him, man. Like
Yeah.
you said, seems like a really good guy.
Now, my dad, he loved the game, but that's just one thing that I think that, stop making excuses for your kids.
Mm-hmm.
Stop. You know what I'm
100%.
saying? Like your kid is on an 8th grade AAU team and they're on the bench. They're not that good.
Yeah.
Like, and it's okay.
Yeah. Bro.
It's all right. I wasn't that good either.
Yeah, I say this shit all the time.
And I had to learn how to earn it.
Yeah.
I had to learn how to do. Some coaches are looking at different things. On another team, your kid might have 0 IQ and not know how to play, but they're long, fast, and athletic. So when you play on the team where they're pressing and trapping and gambling the whole
It'll
time,
look amazing.
They might look way better.
Yeah.
But on our team, you have to know how to play.
Yeah.
And if you don't, you can't play.
Right.
Because also it's about the culture of the team as a coach.
Yeah.
Like, I can't play a kid that ain't doing what we ask.
Right.
Because now none of the other kids are going to buy in because they're like, well, he don't do it.
Yeah.
And he playing.
Exactly.
Why do I got to do it?
100%.
And it's like, and that's what people don't understand. Even if your kid is the most talented kid on the team, if they're not bought into what we're doing, you got to sit.
And I think parents
You know what I'm saying?
got to learn to not take it personal too. Because I think a lot of times parents, when we critique their kids, so I just had film the other day for my 8th grade and my 6th grade. In my 6th grade, they needed film. I needed them. I try to do film with my teams at least once a month, right? So we went to Vegas. They played against the number 1 team in the Marquee Circuit, I-5. And so we play them again this weekend. And so I showed them, like, this is what you're doing wrong, things like that. And you could see the kids that were extremely receptive and, like, were enjoying this. You could tell, like, this was new to them to have film broken down to them. But the thing was, when you sit down with a coach, especially I could say at least from someone like me with my basketball mind and the way I see the game, and I see so many details, I think that's what helped me as a player. It's weird because my coaches always used to tell me I would make a good coach, and I used to take that as an insult. I'm like, what the fuck you saying? Like, I can't hoop? Like, I used to take that shit as an insult. But my college coaches, all that, they were like, no, you see plays in the games. Because I used to get a lot of steals from shooting the lanes. I think it was 2008, 2009. I was number 2 in the nation in steals. But it wasn't because it was like I was on ball. I wasn't that guy that could just pick
I was in college?
Yeah, in college. So it wasn't the guy that could just strip the ball from you. Right? It was playing passing lanes.
Anticipating the next pass.
Exactly. And that's what they said, my coach told me, Coach Snellgrove, he was like, you're really good at seeing plays and things manifest around you. He was like, I don't think you realize. And he said, that's kind of what a coaching skill is, because you can kind of see things play out. And so in film, I'm breaking it down the way I see the game. Yeah. All these small details. And you could see some of the parents, I think were like, they hearing the dialogue of how I see it, I think really, at some points, I think it offended them because they were like, wait a minute, like, because they felt like I'm picking on their kid. But at other points, I think there was some acceptance of like, oh, I didn't think of it that way. I didn't think of the way this guy sees the game and see it now, because, sometimes they think I'm just this angry guy on the side who's, my kid took a shot and you subbed him out because he missed the shot. No, I didn't sub him out because he missed the shot.
Selection.
Yeah, it's like it's a couple of things. The shot selection, his body language after the shot. Did he get back? Did he rotate on weak side correctly? Is he sitting on the right on defense? Is he making sure to V cut, L cut when I call the next play? Like I'm looking at all those things in like 2 frames.
Yeah.
And if I'm getting no, okay, yeah, someone's got to sub him out.
And the other thing too is what I notice is like, I have parents tell me, like, my son didn't get scored on one time. But it's like they don't realize, it's like, no, your son gave up the middle drive that led to the kick out. Now we're playing off a closeout that led to the layup. But you think that kid got scored on and wasn't your kid, but really your kid is where it broke down. Two passes before the play happened.
Yep.
Right? And that's where, where sometimes it's like, that's why I think, and I hate to say this, but parents got to be parents.
Yeah.
Coaches got to coach.
Yeah. And let's do our job.
Leave it at that. And if you don't like the coach, then go to
Right.
another team.
And
that's your choice. But at the end of the day, like, stop trying to be the coach if you're a parent.
And that's
Because
like,
it hurts the kid. You know what I mean?
And so, like, for me and you, right? You know, for instance, you know, we coach some of the same kids. Like Braylon's with you now, and Cam, he's with you, and you know, Dev, heal up. I know you're hurt right now, and most of these kids, most of our,
too.
well, yeah, Braylon is hurt. Yeah, you're right, his ankle. Like, so most. What I tell a lot of the parents and stuff, most kids nowadays are going to play for two teams, which is totally fine with me. I think two teams is enough. I don't think you need 4, 5, 6. You know, this is a crazy amount. You see some of these kids just have 6 different jerseys on, you know what I mean, which I think is too much. But, you know, 2 different teams, 2 different voices, 2 different systems. There's no problem with that.
And there's not as much confusion.
Yeah, exactly. And what I want to say is, I think the way me and you handle things is based off of mutual respect. There's a lot of AAU programs and people out there that don't have that. Yeah. And I think that because you know, and this is so for the audience and just so you guys understand, at the end of the day, me and him are quote unquote competitors on the business side. He has his business to run, I have my business to run, and our customer base is
overlaps.
Overlaps. They overlap. That's just what it is. You know what I mean? It's Walmart and Target are competitors. 2 different lanes, of course, but they are.
But they work together.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You know? But they work and that's what y'all need to understand. The relationship between me and this man is, we understand, yes, our businesses are going to compete to a degree at some point. For sure, when we're playing against each other, that's direct competition. That's the game. But, you know, just because of that doesn't mean you can't have a friendship, doesn't mean you can't have respect, doesn't mean you can't even communicate about certain things and talk about certain things, because it's like, for instance, and I won't get into too many details about everything, but like, he can call me about a parent or a player the same way I could call him about a parent or a player, right? He could say, hey, tell me about this kid or tell me about this player, right? Like,
which we've done.
Yeah. And it's because overall, I think of him as a friend. I just want to put a message out there for a lot of you AAU directors, trainers, and other people. Things are so much easier for you and so much better for you if you try to approach the relationships with your peers in that same light, with that same respect of understanding this man's trying to eat just like me, but we both have the same love and passion for the game, 100%. And we both are good at what we do. You know, it's okay to acknowledge that, hey, this man's doing his thing. He's doing a great thing and he's doing a great service for these kids, and vice versa. Too many of you guys out there, not to get too damn preachy, but too many of you guys out there got to stop with the I got to be better than this person. I got to be better than that person. It's okay. I look at it, I make it adjacent to, like,
I see my dog back there with the amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yes, shout out to Yoad. Like, no, I mean, I make it adjacent to, like, I don't know if you want to call it, I mean, this is an extreme example, but like a Kanye West, Jay-Z. Obviously, we ain't Kanye and Jay-Z, but I'm just saying, like,
a couple billions less.
Yeah, right, exactly. Like, it's just, they're both amazing at what they do, but they're both in their own lanes. Yeah. You know, obviously Kanye's an extremist and whatnot, but, you know, they're both in the music industry. They're both in their own lane, but they're both finding success.
No doubt. I love Kanye, but he's making it hard, man.
Yeah. I'm telling you, man, Kanye kills me, bro.
I love him, though.
For real.
Come on, bro. You gotta,
chill out a little bit. So I just had to say off that side tangent because.
But let me add to that because, and I know you remember this, but when we first announced that we were gonna work together,
bro, I
had a number, and I know you did too.
Yeah.
Literally hit me up like, oh, be careful working with that dude. I don't know. And I'm like, what? Do you even know him?
Yeah.
Some of these people don't even know you.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, and it's just like, why can't 2 black men that are doing great things in the community and really care about the kids come together and work together? Just because have our own things.
Yeah.
Like, at the end of the day, I'm doing this for the kids and so are you.
Yeah.
So if we have something that makes sense that's going to help the kids.
Yeah.
What's wrong with coming together and do that? But that's part of the issue that you're talking about, is that we could get into that. That's a whole
that's
nother
a whole nother
That's
episode.
a whole nother
Yeah,
conversation.
yeah, exactly.
But because we, you and I both know where that stems from, right? And where that comes from. And it's deep rooted, right? But at the same time, it's like, that's why I try to be an example of, hey, man, we can work together. We could do things together. We could do positive things.
And we did.
It could be mutually beneficial, like I said, and like we were talking about before. It ain't me. It wasn't me trying to extract the platform that you had to go play on the goal.
Yeah, and it wasn't me trying to take some players from you.
Exactly. It was like, no, we both have. You have this, and I have this, and together it works. So let's make it boom.
And I just wish.
And it's mutual respect,
bro.
And it's like, bam. Now we did something better for the community and for the kids. The kids grow. Those kids got a great opportunity.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about. And we'll probably do something like that in the future, but.
That's why when we did last year, I was just saying, I remember we had those conversations. I said, man, I just want to set the example. We can do something different, showing that, hey, two entities can work together for a common good, a common goal, right?
Absolutely.
So, fast forwarding, just with our culture of AAU basketball, all of it, and kids want to frame this question the right way. So, we know ultimately what it takes because we come from a place of knowing. We're not being ambiguous. We're not speaking in theory. You did it. I did it. We know what it takes. What do you think has kind of become this disconnect of, I guess, parent, player, and coach, where we can say, hey, you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to put in the work, you got to have the, tough mentality, deal with adversity, blah, 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 all the stuff all these guys are preaching. But the communication isn't getting through to the kid or the parent sometimes. Do you think it's our fault? Do you think it's just the culture of what it is nowadays? Because let's just be real, we're in a very sensitive culture where everybody's worried about their fucking feelings, and no one wants to hurt anybody's ego, or everybody's mental, everything is so soft right now. It's like I can't quite put my finger on how to fix it. I just know that it has to be fixed. So I didn't know if you had any thoughts or ideas about it.
I mean, even I remember when I was a kid, the adults at that time were saying, man, y'all a soft generation.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
But now it's like, man. I thought we was. But,
it's because of these, I guess, man.
No, it really
love
is.
social media.
It's a new world. I think that social media, right now, just in general, not just sports, just generally speaking, mental health is ridiculously become such a huge problem, and it's not being talked about as much. It's being glossed over. And I don't know this because I don't know if there's scientific studies, but just from my experience, I believe that the social media and everything has a big thing to do with that, because everybody is comparing. Everything's about comparing yourself to somebody else.
Yes.
And a lot of times what you're comparing yourself to ain't even real.
Right.
So now you're trying to live up to a standard that's fake.
Yeah.
And it's even just like the IG girls, every girl wants to have ass now, but it's 99% of these,
BBLs and filters.
It's fake. It's fake.
You're right.
And it's I ain't knocking it.
Right.
It's
right.
Do what you do. You can get your money. Cool. But it's just still now you have girls that are out here depressed and because they looking on Instagram all day. Oh, that girl got a fatter ass. That girl's got this many followers. This girl, and they just comparing themselves instead of focusing on themselves and their own and being present in their own world, in their own life, and trying to be the best that they can be. Yeah. And for some of these women, the BBL don't match your body.
No, it don't.
I'm being real.
I see all these YouTube videos and these TikToks, bro. It's
insane. Them thighs be real skinny. It's you would be I'll just be real. You would be way finer if you just had a natural booty that match your body. Let's go do some squats or something, baby.
It's all this weird perception, bro.
No.
It's all about, we're trying to get the acceptance of others that we don't even really know.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
It's the same thing in basketball. Now you see this kid got an offer. This kid is ranked in, come on, bro, 8th grade, 7th
and we
grade,
know,
6th grade
and I keep trying to tell him, and shout out to Coach Barnes because he's one of the few D1 coaches that's so fucking honest out there. Yeah. But it's try to tell these kids, you can't get an official offer in 8th grade. I know that's what they're pointing out there. It's a game. Like, the college coaches have to finesse a little bit too, because they're trying to build a relationship and potentially see what this kid becomes. But I try to tell the parents, don't believe everything you see.
And that's the thing. The number one advice I could give to every kid and every parent is tunnel vision, man. Just focus on the work every single day.
Yep.
Focus on getting better every single day. We see it all the time. Everyone focus on, again, the clout, getting a viral IG video.
Mm-hmm.
I got kids that's trying to get NILs and they don't even have scholarship offers. Like, dude, just get better every day.
Yeah.
Focus on the work. Make your lifestyle of discipline. Build good habits. Work on your game.
Yeah.
Be a great citizen. Be a great teammate.
Yep.
Do those things, and everything else is going to take care of itself. But when your focus is, oh, let me go to this big tournament and this big tournament, I'm going to go to this tournament, I'm going to go to this camp, I'm going to get recognition, I want to get ranked. Like, I have parents come up to me and ask me, like, hey, coach, so can we start playing in tournaments where my kid can get ranked? And I'm like, what? I'm like, you guys think about this the whole wrong way. Team touch ain't about that at all.
Yeah.
We're about development.
Right.
Matter of fact, we gonna lose games because we're about development.
Right.
And if we was just about no names, but there's a lot of teams in Sacramento and other places that are just gonna recruit the top players to come play for their team, the most athletic guys, maybe holdbacks, just so they can win games. Now, every tournament you see the team, they're gonna have different players.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's cool, and I'm not knocking it because, okay, great.
That's
but
just
at
not,
the end
that's
of the
not
day,
our business model.
You're not developing when you do that. So, like, that's cool, but that's not what I'm about. I'm a developer.
Yeah.
I like helping. I like teaching. I'm a teacher, you know?
And
I like teaching and helping kids get better and giving them game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's really the value, because that's what they carry with them for the rest of their life. Whether they won a tournament in 8th grade, ain't nobody going to remember that. I can't even remember a tournament I won in 8th grade.
Bro, I can't remember any of my
I don't remember none of it.
No, I just had to add that in there. No, no, you're right. Like, I mean, that's the reality of it, bro. And I know I remember I did that brief video on Instagram talking about the different directors and formats, right? You have the developer, the businessman, and the recruiter, right? In terms of the AAU coach director, and those roles intersect. I even said, I think so those roles intersect. Sometimes you got to be a businessman, sometimes you got to be a recruiter, sometimes you got to be a developer. But you have to individually know what is your purpose, right? I tell people, this is an analogy I always use with my teams. I say the goal is to win. That's the goal, but the purpose is to develop. Right. So, like, when we're in the game, my goal is to beat my opponent and then teach in the process while we're
teach that competitive.
Yeah, right.
Of course.
But the purpose is to develop. Right.
Love
I said,
I might steal that from you.
Oh, please do. Please do. You know, the best coaches steal. Best coaches steal. Right. So, like, I think a lot of AAU coaches and directors have that flipped.
Definitely.
You know, their goal, their purpose is to win. Right.
Absolutely.
Their purpose is to win. The goal is to develop, because, of course, I've rarely seen a coach be that transparent, especially in this AAU youth side. Be like, all I give a fuck about is winning. I've never heard a coach.
They don't say it, but their actions speak it loud.
Exactly. They'll. I don't care about winning at all. I just want to develop. But then you notice like you said, they're getting the best kids. I would say oftentimes these coaches will literally pay for the kids, pay for the tournaments.
They pay for it. And the other thing is that what I don't like too is, like, maybe they have a kid come to their team and that kid has a bad tournament and then they get rid of him.
Right.
And it's like, okay, one tournament, and this happened to kids. This happened one time to Kevin Hop, who's a hell of a player.
Yeah. Hell yeah, he is.
But he's a small kid.
Yeah.
And he didn't even have a bad tournament. They just lost. And he actually played good.
Yeah.
And they still got rid of him because they lost, and they were like, oh, but what does that tell me about the program? They have to win. That's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
Which I understand, because this team was a circuit team, and the circuits, they want you to win.
And that's
part of the culture that breeds this, which is like, I understand it, because that's basketball. Everyone wants to win. if you have these shoe companies are paying your team money.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars.
They want you to win, right?
There's a certain expectation.
Which is like understood. And in high school, I understand that more. Like once you get to like the major circuit, like Adidas, EYBL, now that level, it's like, okay, you got to win.
Yeah. But again, that's because that's a different.
Yeah, when you're like
animal.
ninth grade, and mind you, this was a ninth grade team at the time. When you're like ninth grade and younger, it's like it definitely got to be about development.
Yeah, it has to. Or
else you're not. I mean, I just personally, I just don't get it. Because I'm just a guy that loves the kids. Like I'm trying to help the kids, right?
Yeah.
So. And even at the higher levels, it should be about development. But I understand that sometimes it can't be
because
you know what I'm saying.
You know, because even like now, and I'm glad. This is why I'm glad we got to talk right now because we know high school AAU is about to gear up. Right. Yeah. Shout out to all the teams that are making it to state and sections. We know that's coming up for you guys in the next few weeks. But it's like you know, this is where kids have to start making those decisions on which AAU program they're going to go with. And, of course, I'm doing my recruitment rounds just like every other AAU program is doing their recruitment rounds. You know, like we talked about before the show, you're kind of in this in-between area where people are going to talk to you about players or you might, you know, funnel some of your kids certain places because you're kind of in that great medium spot where you can kind of push kids to where you think is best. And like I've expressed on this show because and I'm saying it now even more. So I'm very blessed and lucky enough from what me and Ryan did last year and establish ourselves getting those teams to Rock Hill and showing that we can produce a certain caliber of competitive teams. I've pretty much locked in for the next 3 to 5 years with Adidas. Win or lose, I can get the brakes beat off me this year.
And what I love about it though is that like our teams have been together for the past 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
And my team 94 last year.
Yeah.
Shout out to Phil Handy. He sponsored our team. One of the best coaches in skill development. Well, really, in my opinion, the best. Like it's hands down. The best skill development coach in the world, who's my mentor as well. So shout out to Phil. He supported our team.
Yep.
And this team was a team that, you know, as 7th graders, they were like average local team. Maybe below average, maybe average. By the time they got to 9th grade, they're playing at national level.
Yeah.
That just is a testament to the focus of development.
Yeah.
Like we didn't go and recruit a bunch of different players.
Development and chemistry.
We built this team, teach them how to play, and help them develop their skill set.
Yeah.
And I say help them because I never take the credit. This is something else I just want to put out there.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of times trainers as well take way too much credit for the kid, and it's like they get pissed off if anyone else works with the kid, and they try to like, oh, don't work with this guy. Like,
we know how to.
And it's like at the end of the day, man, none of these kids is any of our kids.
No.
We are just somebody that has assisted them and has given and poured into that kid. But at the end of the day, every kid has to put the work in.
Yeah.
We ain't putting the work in for the kid.
You're right.
They put the work in.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, that's their win. I don't need no credit. Now, the kids that feel like a certain coach or trainer has helped them, they going to give you the credit.
Right.
They going to give you the shout out.
Yeah.
They going to give you their appreciation. But why do we have to feel the need to say, this is my kid, I got 20 kids a scholarship? No, that kid got themselves a scholarship. Yeah, we might have helped. We might have talked to a coach. Yeah. We might have helped them get better.
But they did the performance.
But at the end of the day, like you said in one of your videos, the only thing we could do is put you in front of their eyes.
Yeah, that's all we can.
They gotta show that they can play at that level.
That's it.
And they gotta put the work in to get there. I have so many kids that I train that don't put the work in, they don't get better. And I have so many kids that I train that put the work in and get exponentially better at a rapid rate.
They make that quantum leap.
And at the end of the day, we can't force no one to put the work in. There ain't no shortcuts.
No, 100%.
Anyways, that was a tangent.
No, you're fine. No, this is why I want you on this platform. It's like you got. I wish you know you could always have a crystal ball and something like that. It's just like you can't. But that's, you know, like circling back what I was saying. It's just I'm at a point now for this high school season, I just want 33 kids, 11 at each group, 15, 16, 17, whatever, who the parents are going to let my coaches do their job, because I'm not going to coach all three, right, and let the coaches do their job. It's not free. Sorry to, I wish I could be free, but I'm not. But, I'm lucky.
I tell people like this. I think I told you this.
Yeah.
Y'all want discounts, y'all want free, call up my landlord.
Right.
And be like, yo, can you give Ryan a discount this month on your lease?
For real.
Like
For real.
I wish I could get a discount too.
Bro.
Now, that being said, obviously there's some kids that, hey,
You'll try to make some exceptions
if
for
this kid needs it, and my thing is always this. If you come from a economic background, socioeconomic background where you need it, number one, that's the first thing. And number two, you got to be locked in.
Yeah.
I ain't committing to you when you ain't even committed to yourself.
Exactly. It's
what I'm saying?
a bad investment. At the end of the day, it's a bad investment.
If you have great work ethic and you're committed, you come to every practice, you don't miss training, you put work in, and you need it, it's free, bro. You don't even got to pay shit.
Right.
But I'll tell you this, though. 99% of the people that have quit my teams are the kids that are free.
Yep. Because they have no skin in the game.
They don't value it.
No. And that's this.
You know what I'm saying?
This is where, for you parents and that are listening, or where you guys might come across and think like the me's and the Ryans, the Kenjis, the Ryan Silvers, the Joeys at Lake Show. We're the assholes because we're telling you, look, we still have to maintain our business, our status quo. And yes, we believe in your kid. You want it for free for your kid, but without you putting a little stake in it, right? I don't give a fuck if it's $50. I don't care if it's without you putting any stake in it. Answer this question for me then, and answer it realistically and logically. You can leave comments under the YouTube. You can leave fucking comment. You can message me directly, because all my IG information and shit's on the description. You parents answer this question for me then. If you have no incentive to stay, right? Why should I invest in you? If you have no incentive to stay, you're not paying for anything. It's all free for you. The tournaments are free. The jerseys are free. The training is free. The coaching is free. The time invested is free. You get all the benefit, and then you just walk out because you didn't like one time I yelled at your kid, or you didn't like one tournament where they didn't get as much playing time or as many points. Why should I agree to that contract? Because that's essentially, that's what we call a social contract. Like, we in a society, we live under a social contract. This is what I mean if you guys can't break down the example. I can't go into a bank, shoot it up, and then take the cash. You want to know the social contract? I will get fucking arrested or put in prison or probably killed by the cops. That's what you call a social contract that's understood under societal standard. So the social contract between me and you is, I'm giving and pouring all the incentive. You literally give me nothing back. Why should I enter that social contract? And don't give me some bullshit morality thing. Well, it's the right thing to do because you're a good person. Well, the right thing for you to do would be to stay and deal with the adversity that I put your kid through because you get everything for free. But how many parents do that?
And to add to that, I want to clear this up for everybody that's listening.
Yeah.
Because one of the things that, shit go through the grapevine. And like you said, people talk shit.
Yeah, of course.
People hate, whatever. But one of the things that people say about me is, oh, Ryan, he all about money. And it's like, okay. And I love Lil Russell, one of my favorite rappers.
Yeah.
He said everybody want to be the boss till the bill come.
That's what it's true.
So it's like, look, ain't nobody, if I was about money, I'll be doing things a lot differently than I'm doing now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
They just don't get it.
And it's not about the money, but at the same time, us as people that pour into kids, like, I don't have another job.
No.
This is what I do, and I invest everything I have into this. Why shouldn't somebody that puts, like, and this is the thing, I believe like this. There are the guys that train people and just, hey, I'm gonna go to the Salvation Army, I'm gonna give back. Yeah. And we need that. That's amazing.
100%.
Right? But those guys are also not the ones that are dedicating their entire life to this game. Yeah. So, like I said, there's levels, right? So somebody that puts their entire life into the game and has a high level understanding, a high level training. This is what I do. This is my trade. I've done this my whole life. Right. right? You ain't paying me for the hour you there. You paying me for the 25 years or whatever of knowledge that I've accumulated by playing this game and coaching this game and being in certain rooms.
Yeah.
Being on the court with Phil Handy and LeBron and D Wade and learning. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is what you're paying for, right? And, hey, there's another guy over there that's going to train you for free.
Yeah.
And if that's what you need to do, great.
Do what you got to do.
Right? And that's needed.
Mm-hmm.
Go get your work in. But I'm here to take it to the next level.
Yep.
And if you really want to invest in yourself and invest in your kid, it's an investment.
Yeah.
And that's where, for me, like, I remember when I was hooping, I didn't have no money. I was a college student.
Yeah.
And
For real.
I found $350 a month to pay Gus. Because I was like, look, I don't know. Man, if I'm lying, I had girls help me get that money. I figured it out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like, even my wife now, like, she used to help me. Like, there was a point in time when I first graduated, I was going overseas. That summer, I didn't have no money. My wife, I was living with her. Yeah. She was paying for all the groceries. She took care of me.
People don't know the struggle, bro.
She took care of me. You know what I'm saying? And that was real. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of like where, you know, as youth development people, that's why they don't pay teachers.
No.
Why do people that work with, we all say the kids and the youth are the future.
Yeah.
And this is the most important thing in the world. But why do the people that work with them and help build them up not deserve to get paid?
They don't deserve.
Why do
exactly.
people? Why do
people? Teachers don't make shit.
Exactly. Why do people try to make people that work with kids feel guilty about getting paid?
Because they try to use the morality excuse. That's what I call it anyway. The morality excuse. Well, you should be doing this out of the kindness of your heart. Don't you want to see people succeed? Don't you? Yeah, I do, and I still want to get paid too. Two things can exist at the same time.
We live in America, dog.
Yeah. This is a capitalist country.
Guess what? If I don't get paid, I ain't gonna have a gym to train you at. I ain't gonna have what, like, you don't want somebody to be able to feed their family.
Yeah.
We doing all this for everybody, but we don't deserve to be able to feed our families.
Exactly.
And I just don't understand that.
Nah,
and mind you, at the same time, we still do a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
That people don't pay for and we get back.
Right.
I try to get back, and I'm even working on a lot of things right now where we're trying to work on real initiatives to create a systemized way to give back every single month.
That would be great.
And that's what we're working on right now, which I'll talk to you about that more.
Yeah.
Because I think you could be a part of that. But
oh, yeah, you know me. I'm always down for that type of stuff.
For sure. So, like, but at the same time, it's like that's just a big thing. I think that, you know, people trying to make you feel guilty. But the thing about it is that a lot of those people are just mad that they're not getting paid to do it. Right. Exactly. And it's like, I don't know, man. This is more or less. This is why I want people to hear this episode, listening to two brothers who are heavy in this game and got a lot of stake in it. And like you said, it's put our all into it, so they can hopefully understand our perspective. Right. I wanted you to touch on Phil Handy. You know, your relationship with him, and kind of because I think a lot of people have seen over the years, you know, and you're through your social media stuff, like how close you two are and how he's worked with you and helped you. But I'm just saying, you know, obviously he's been influential in your growth, and Gus as well, and those you know, those legendary figures in the training world and stuff like that. You know, did you know, touch on those relationships and how, you know, how maybe Phil and Gus have helped you to evolve and grow into who you are. Nah, no doubt. Phil Handy, man, that's my dog.
Yeah.
Like, I owe so much to him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because really, and that's why I said, like, earlier I was saying, like, man, I never had nobody really, like, give me a platform like that. And I want to say that Phil gave me, like, he helped me have a platform. But it's not like Phil was like, oh, here goes 10 clients. But what Phil gave me was knowledge.
Yeah.
Like, and that's the most valuable thing that you can get. And that's part of the advice that I give to trainers, because even now, like, there's some times where, you know, I'm thinking about hiring some trainers.
Yeah.
And it's like they want to get paid right now. And it's like, bro, you're getting paid by getting this knowledge.
Yeah.
And you know this. In the basketball world, if you want to get to a high level in the basketball world, in the beginning, you ain't getting paid.
Yeah.
When I was at Prolific, this is what people don't know. I literally went there every day you know how far it is from
Yeah,
me.
yeah,
I had
yeah.
to be there at 6 a.m. every single day.
I remember you told me that story.
I
was
was
like,
driving
that's
there.
Crazy.
They didn't pay me even gas money at first. But I did this shit off the strength because I knew that first of all, I need this experience for where I'm trying to go. This is a great opportunity,
Yep.
and it's worth it. And mind you, at that time, I wasn't making no money like that either.
Yeah.
I was just starting. Like, it was hard for me to make that happen.
Yeah. You were
But-
investing in yourself.
But guess what? Yeah, exactly. But how many people would be willing to do that? Right now, I guarantee you, I ain't driving out there at
Yeah,
6 a.m.
exactly.
for free. These dudes, they crazy.
Uh,
But that's the reason why some people are different.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you got to be willing to do shit that nobody else is willing to do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I did. And then it turned into being a paid job because then they started GSP and hired me as a head coach, and I got paid monthly to do that. And that was a great experience as well. But with Phil Handy, the knowledge, man, like I was able to be part of his app where I would go in there and I did some episodes. Like one time I did a shooting workout.
Yeah.
It was like 3.5 hours nonstop. And mind you, I wasn't even in the greatest shape at the time. But I was hitting though.
Right.
But I was tired, right? So you go on the app right now, you'll see some of those segments in there.
Nice.
I learned so much, even just not beyond, like the basketball side, I learned a lot, obviously, the philosophy, the concepts, how to teach. Like one of Phil's biggest things is everything got to be applicable to the game. Everybody got to translate to the game. Everything got to translate to the game right now.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't tell me how this doesn't translate into the game right now, why are you doing it?
Do you think you see some drills? I mean, again, I still want you to talk more about that, but have you ever? And you, again, I'm just talking about like if you're scrolling on your phone and you know our fucking phones pop up all kind of stuff. But I see so many drills where I'm like, what the hell does that have to do with the game, bro?
I think that the biggest issue with training is that everyone again wants to do what looks cool, and the biggest thing that people don't realize with training is the simple, like you said earlier.
Simple shit.
The simple shit and the fundamentals is the most important thing.
That's the majority of the game.
And you gotta master the fundamentals step by step. A lot of people see this and they're trying to do this fancy move, but they don't even have the basic concept of having a wide base and being on balance.
Yeah.
So how am I doing a double crossover spin move, layup? You can't even dribble on spot on balance.
Sometimes they can't even dribble with their offhand.
Yeah, and it's like, bro, we like literally, and this is honestly, this is a secret.
Yeah.
But sometimes when I get a client, the first time I work them out, I'm gonna do like a couple things that are like I know they can't do, and like so then the parents are like, oh, this is cool. I ain't seen this before. But then once they buy in, we do a basic shit.
Basic is that's
like
what
literally,
it is. That's
and we building it up.
Yeah.
And honestly, too, like the training philosophy is like I think of basketball as like a system of skills. Like so in every situation, you want to build a skill set so players have multiple options, right? So you always on one of the things Phil said. You always on balance. You always have the ability to change speed. You always have the ability to change direction. So we work on different techniques and footwork in various situations of the game.
Right.
So that you always have those options, right?
Yep.
And now the game becomes about decisions and reads.
Yes.
And the game's easy.
Yes.
Because now, like, if you watch, like, Kyrie, he might do, or Kawhi, he might do a simple setup, 1-2.
Yeah.
And then change speed, and then he just makes a read.
Yeah.
He reads your feet.
Yeah.
I'm either attacking, I'm changing direction, I'm shooting.
Yeah. That's it.
And it's like, the game's simple, but he's so great at every decision. If you back up, he's repped that shot out thousands of times that's going in. If you get too close, he's blowing by you. First step.
Yeah.
If you cut off the line, he's changing direction.
Yeah.
First step. And it's simple. Usually it's like one dribble pull up. Boom.
And
Change direction, one dribble
But if
pull
you
up.
break a lot of high level NBA players, they don't get like that's a lot of their game.
That's what they do.
Like of course they have every phenomenal player is going to have a highlight. They're going to have some like, oh damn, that was amazing, but they don't understand majority of the bulk of what they're doing.
Consistency
is very, very simplistic stuff. You know what I mean?
But they master it.
Yes.
And they master it, and they do it over and over and over again. And I think with Phil Handy, like, man, he blessed me with the opportunity to go when he was in Cleveland. I flew out there.
Yeah.
I spent like a week and a half, 2 weeks with him. I shadowed him every day. I'm in the court helping him rebound for guys, helping him train guys.
So you got to be around those pro athletes and
man,
those guys.
he's breaking down his philosophy to me, the way he thinks about the game, the way he approaches the game, the way he builds a skill set step by step. Like literally, you have to build someone's skill set step by step. You isolate every skill, and perfect it, and then
Okay.
you can stack, right? So what I mean by that is, let me come up with an example. Like, I might just work on basic, change the direction between the legs.
Yeah.
Wide base, change. Boom. Now I might work on the counter. Pop, pop.
Yeah.
Now I might work on the counter and add another change.
Right.
Sidestep. Like,
Okay.
but we're like stacking the skills. But I want to do
On the foundation
but
first.
exactly. But I won't move on to the next progression until we master this first step
Yep.
of everything we do.
Yep.
And a lot of times, people when they train, they do this, but then they skip 4 steps and they
Yeah.
do this, and there's no progression. And it's also like, that's how you teach people how to play too.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
got, everything's got to be progression,
Yeah.
and it's got to be based on concept and decision making.
Right.
Why are you doing this?
And that's a big,
You know what I'm saying?
big teller right there. Like, I tell kids and even parents, I say, listen, if you're not going to be coached by me or trained by me, that's fine. But make sure if you're doing something and you're asking your trainer, like, well, why is he doing this or she doing this? Or you ask the coach, why do you want them doing it? Make sure they have an answer. You know what I mean? Because there has to be a purpose on why you're doing the things you're doing. You know what I mean? Doesn't necessarily mean you have to understand it all, but if there's really just something that's confusing you, typically you should be comfortable enough with the person to ask. You know what I mean? Or even tell the player to ask.
And even with me, I've had players ask me, like, I don't understand why we're doing this.
Yeah.
And then it challenges the coach.
Yes.
Like, okay, this is why we're doing it. This is how it translates.
Mm-hmm.
Like, in everything I do, I could tell you why.
Yeah.
Like, I remember the other day, it was like a kid, and we were doing like simple stuff. Like, we did between the legs, 1 dribble pull up, inside foot.
I do a lot of stuff like
right,
that.
left.
Yeah.
It was just like between the legs, 1 dribble pull up. But then the kid kept going between the legs, but he wouldn't take another dribble. He would go between the legs and go right, left, but he wouldn't take another dribble. And I'll be like, yo, I want you to take the dribble. He'd be like, why do I need the dribble? I could just go right here. So I said, okay, you don't need the dribble, but the reason why I want you to take that dribble is because, number one, that pound is going to give you momentum to your shot, right? We all heard that.
Yeah,
You take that pound, you get it to your pocket.
Right.
Number two, now it opens up more options. Like, if I take that dribble, now maybe someone comes and closes space. I still have another dribble.
Yeah.
I could change again.
Right.
But if I pick it up, now I'm stuck. I
Yeah.
don't have another option. I have one option.
Yeah.
So like I said, my philosophy on training is always about making sure that we have multiple options in every situation, right? So now, like, boom, I might need to take a second dribble to get a little more space, or I might need to change direction.
But you gave them a reason.
Exactly. And that's a very simple example.
Yeah.
But that's like right there. Now they start understanding the game too. Like, because that's simple.
Yeah.
But that makes a big difference.
It does.
Because, like, you know, in a game, we doing 1 dribble pull-ups, 2 dribble pull-ups. And having the habit of taking that dribble versus not taking that dribble could be the difference in getting buckets and not getting buckets.
100%.
Even at the highest level.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, well, with Phil, and it's just my last thing, with that one, and like, what is it? Just his presence is why you think he has such a great buy-in? And I mean, obviously he's an OG, and there's always a respect with like Rico Hines and him and the OGs of the game and stuff. But do you? I just feel like, and again, I'm just asking you because you have a close relationship, but this is just from an outsider's perspective. But I just feel like he's so respected amongst everybody, and I don't think it's just because he's a good trainer. I just think he has a presence about himself. Is that something you've seen?
He has a great presence about himself.
Yeah.
He's very confident. He knows exactly what he's doing.
Okay.
And I also think that he is so authentic,
Okay.
like super authentic.
Yeah.
And I think that what I mean by that is, like, he's always going to be himself.
Yeah.
And he don't care who you are.
Yeah.
We all just human.
Right.
So, like, he tells this story on a podcast before, but he actually told me this a long time ago in person.
Yeah.
But I heard him say it on a podcast too. But he said, the first time he was working with, or he worked with Kobe.
Oh yeah, he said it on
All
the smoke.
Before he went to a practice, and I guess Kobe was getting upset because they had Phil reffing.
Yeah.
And ref wouldn't make the foul call on Kobe. So then I guess Kobe was yelling at him, cussing him out, whatever, getting pissed off. And then Phil walked away, and then Kobe threw the ball at the back. I don't know if it was the back of his head or at his back. So then Phil was like, because most people are scared to say nothing to like the Kobe and LeBrons. They scared to say
face
something.
of the league and all that.
If LeBron said he don't like you, bye-bye.
Exactly,
Like,
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So So it's like, but Phil walked straight up to Kobe. He's like, bro, I'm from Oakland, bro. You don't know where I'm from. I don't give a damn who you are. Like, we would thought, like, he went in on, like.
I love that.
So Kobe, but after that, Kobe
sure
had
there's
the
some
utmost
respect.
respect for him.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
all right, this a real dude. Like,
Yeah.
and the guys like that are real dogs.
Yeah.
They respect dogs.
I agree.
They respect guys that ain't scared of nobody.
I agree.
That will stand up for themselves. That's going. So now, like Phil Henney, like I don't know if you watched this, but there's been several times where Phil Henney's in the huddle screaming at LeBron.
No, I haven't seen that, but I wouldn't be surprised.
But no one else will do.
Yeah,
Even the
yeah.
head coach wouldn't talk to LeBron
No,
like
of course
that, bro.
not.
But Phil Henney don't give a damn because like LeBron, like he'll get mad. Like this dude ain't like talking shit.
Yeah,
about,
yeah.
like you know LeBron.
Yeah,
like,
of
we
course.
love LeBron.
Yeah,
but we seen
but
it.
we know how he is. Of course. Yeah.
So like I've seen like one time I remember it when they were in Cleveland, he was like going in on his teammate. Saying like, man, this dude, he don't box out. I don't know what it was about, something like that. Like talking about his teammate wasn't doing something.
Yeah.
And LeBron and Phil Henney was like, nah, man, it starts with you, bro.
Yeah.
You the main one out here crying and shit, like going in on him.
That's good though.
And it's like you supposed to be the leader. It starts with you.
Yeah.
But LeBron has the utmost respect for Phil.
Well, you can see their relationship. You can see their relationship is
Every player
very
needs that.
close.
I don't
Yeah.
care how good you are.
Yeah.
You need that.
I'm glad you said that because
No.
I don't think enough emphasis is put on that. You know, I've always hated hearing like, you know, high level athletes can't be coached or high level athletes.
They want to be coached.
You know, they don't.
The best of the
Yeah.
best want to be coached
Yeah.
and want to learn and want to get better.
Yeah, like that's.
You know what I'm saying?
There was a saying I heard. I was probably gonna make an Instagram post with it or whatever, but it was really cool. It said average players want to be left alone.
Right.
Good players want to be coached. Great players want the truth.
Facts.
You know what I mean? I remember where I read that, but I just thought that was so cool. Like,
And I remember as a player, I remember my coach told me the truth one time, and in the moment I was mad. My man, like I remember it was like 3 games into the season,
yeah,
and I don't know what it was, but defensively I was just like out of it.
Yeah.
And I
happens.
wasn't playing well on defense. I was
Yeah.
like late to rotation.
yeah.
But I didn't really fully realize it because I was getting buckets. I was like, I'm playing good with you.
Right.
And my coach was like, nah, you ain't playing hard, bro, and I'm about to put you on the bench. He showed me film, and then you know they have Synergy advanced stats.
Yeah.
So there's like this stat that was like, it's like a advanced stat. I don't know what it's called, but it's like when the player that you're guarding takes the shot, like when you're contesting their shot,
Yeah.
it's like a point, it's like a percentage or points per possession on
Oh,
like,
shit.
when you finish.
Yeah.
I was dead last on the team. And he was like, look at this. That's what I'm talking about.
That's a tough pill to
That
swallow.
means that you're late on the rotation, so
Yeah.
guys are getting open shots, or you're getting beat on closeouts, and they're getting to whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
And this is why the stat's happening. So then I was pissed at first, but then I was like, all right, for sure. And literally by at the end of the season, I was the number 1 on the team
See.
on that same exact stat.
Because you took it.
Yeah.
You took the information. Yeah.
And I
right.
locked in on the defense.
Exactly.
I was like, hell, niggas ain't scoring on me.
For real, man.
No more.
That's bro, like,
You know?
And that's what I tell with these fucking kids. I'm like, man, y'all, where's your pride on defense? Because I'm a defensive coach. Everyone who's played for me will attest to that. I'm a defensive guy, right? Before we work on offense, right? And
Me too.
You know,
Gotta be.
Yeah, and that comes from like, because that's what got me a spot. You know what I mean? The ability to lock somebody up, the ability to guard multiple positions. I could guard a post guy. I can guard a guard. I guarded guards way quicker than myself. I've guarded bigs as tall as 7 foot. You know what I mean? I've guarded 7-footers because I just understand angles and how to move and things like that. And I try to tell these kids, like in this day and age in basketball, they are on a witch hunt to find kids like you that want to play defense. Yes, you have to have some offensive skill set. Let me make that clear so people aren't confused like, oh, all you can do is play defense and get a spot. Fuck no. You got to be able to make a layup. You got to be able to
hit an
open shot. Like, you got to have some – they can't play 4-on-5 on
And you got to have
defense.
IQ where you know how to make the right pass and not the ball doesn't die with you and stuff.
But if you take pride, that's all I say. If you take pride in the defensive side, like, okay, you get scored on. Okay, cool. Learn from that. Learn that, okay, this guy likes this spot, to try your best to not let that guy get there again. Like, if you're showing that type of effort, that type of IQ, that type of poise.
That's what's missing.
Yeah.
With a lot of kids.
Yeah.
Is the competitive nature, man.
Mm-hmm. Everybody's buddy. I don't like that shit. But that's just, I don't know, that's maybe an old school
also,
me.
it's like, I mean, I know you old, you a OG.
Yeah, I am. I'm
You're
fuck
not that,
you.
you're not that but I know even in your day, especially
Yeah.
in Oakland,
Yeah.
y'all was on the playground playing with grown men getting
Yeah.
your ass whooped.
Yeah, for
and it's
real.
like if you lose, you sitting down for
Yeah,
a minute.
for real.
So like that type of grit,
Yeah.
like they don't have that no more.
Nah.
Like where it's like, nah, bro, we gonna fucking win. I don't care
Yeah,
what it
yeah.
takes. I'm
For real,
fucking dying.
for real.
If I'm foul, I don't care. Like that
Like-
dog. Like even me, when I grew up playing, like I played, parks. I played
Yeah, yeah.
at 24 with grown
Yeah,
men.
yeah.
And dudes is throwing elbows,
Yeah.
fouling, you talking shit. And it built for me, like, man, there's 20 people waiting. If I lose, I'm probably have to go home.
For real.
So it's like, I ain't losing, bro.
Right.
I don't care what it takes. I ain't losing. I'm gonna bust your ass. I'm gonna do what I have to do. But the kids,
Man.
the only time they hoop now is in a tournament or in a training.
Controlled environments. That's it.
And it's like there's never in that environment where it's like ain't nobody there to hold your hand. Your parents ain't there to get. Oh, it's okay, little
fuck
Tommy.
that.
That coach should have played. No,
That's why when we do
you
scrimmages.
either win or you lose.
That's why, like, even like when I would bring my team and we
You
would
know?
scrimmage your your
Yeah,
8th
yeah.
grade now with all
Yeah.
that. That's why I let that shit get kind of out of hand.
Yeah.
Like, where I'm not calling some fouls and
Yeah,
I'm kind of
yeah.
letting kids get fucked up a little bit because I'm like, this is the only way y'all gonna experience it.
I gotta get tough.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'll let, like, I'm like, coach, shut up. Like, there ain't no foul. You seen how I just like, shut up, keep playing. Like, it is what it is. Keep fighting. Like, the kids got to learn some resiliency and okay, let me make it clear. Like, if you guys are looking at the NBA is more offensively centric, meaning, the defense, you can't touch the players as much, but you guys got to understand, even though NBA is basketball, it's still a business. It's
NBA,
an entity.
they want more points to score tickets. That's
Exactly.
what
Like,
all it
y'all
comes
got to
down
understand that. But college isn't that. College isn't that.
College is intense as
and
hell.
and that's what I'm trying to get the kids to remember. If you're in high school, you're still trying to get to the collegiate level.
But that being said, even in the NBA level, you have to be a great defender because
Yeah.
even the great defenders do my job dub. But now a bad defender, they dropping 70.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, because everybody too skilled.
Like, bro, it's ridiculous.
Everybody too
and
skilled.
in the NBA, it's honestly harder because you're more so on an island.
Yeah.
Because you have
You
to
can't
be
zone.
yeah, and you have to play all the way.
Yeah.
You can't play defense on the help line. You got to
No.
be outside the key.
Yeah, you do.
So like the guy guarding the ball or guarding the action, like the ball screen, whatever, you are pretty much you're on your own
you.
way more.
Yeah.
Where in college, it's like dudes are sitting right there on the help line. That's
Yeah.
why like dudes that get a lot of dunks in college, I'm impressed.
Yeah.
Like in the half court.
Right, because there's always
Cause
somebody
they
there.
right there, bro. Like
They
I'll
don't
tell
know.
you what, my senior year, I never was like a super bouncy guy,
Yeah,
but I
yeah,
probably
yeah.
had like 12 dunks my senior year.
Right, that's
I had like 2 dunks my whole college career, both on. I had 2.5 court, 2 in a fast break.
Okay, fair enough.
And I'll take those.
Yeah, exactly. I was
But-
like, you got him. Fuck it.
And one of my only dunks was on my highlight tape. I know you seen
I
that.
saw- it don't matter. You got one.
It
You got
It
one.
made it look like I had more bounce. I'll take it. But yeah, man, like in college, like it's a different game.
Yeah.
And that's why like certain players translate better to like different levels. Like
Mm-hmm.
there's certain guys that do well in the NBA,
Yeah.
but may not even be as translatable to like overseas in certain leagues.
Yeah.
Because the game is different. Like the NBA is like athleticism, length, open court.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like that is, you have more benefit. Whereas like that's why like a guy like Jimmer Fredette was such a great college player,
Yeah.
but his game didn't really
didn't translate.
He's a great player in
Yeah,
general.
absolutely.
But it
He's
just
dropping like
didn't-
90 a fucking game overseas.
But his game doesn't translate to the NBA because of like the type of athlete he is.
Yeah.
Because it's just a different game.
And that's what I try to tell the parents and the kids when they're looking at it. I mean, you mentioned in synergy, got me thinking of that too. Because that was one of the last things I wanted us to talk about is so in case you guys are listening and I know I have some recurring support where you guys listen and you learn from my podcast. So let me tell you guys about Synergy real quick. Synergy is basically the algorithm that all of college, and I think that the
Pros,
pros use it
NBA,
they all
everyone
use
has
it.
yeah.
Let me make it clear, none of you will be able to get it unless you're filthy rich, because I think the subscription is like $10,000 a year or some crazy shit like that.
Yeah.
So obviously colleges have access to it because, you know, they got the budget, right? And they need the information, quite honestly. They need it. And but me shout out again to Coach Brandon Barnes at Bakersfield. We were, you know, on the phone and just talking, and he looked it up, and we're just looking at some things. So, you know, I was talking to my players about this, and I think more of you guys need to understand this. So we looked up the Detroit Pistons and the Boston Celtics, because at that time, you know, Detroit Pistons the worst team, Boston Celtics the best team. We said, let's look up the percentages on how they score, right, or all these teams score, right? Because again, most of these kids don't get. I'm probably going to do a video about this, talking about, you know, I'm using the analogy of 100 possessions, but kids don't quite understand. They get swept up in the high school highlights and think that's how scoring's done in college, and it's not. And we looked at it all the way at the professional level. So what we found was, for the Detroit Pistons, 27% of their scoring came from catch and shoot. The other, I think, like 25 to 32% came from fast breaks. The other 20% or 25% came from pick and roll, and 7% came from ISO situations. And this is Detroit. This is the worst team. So then we said, okay, let's look at the best team, right? Look at Boston, right? They obviously got some superstars and Tatum and whatnot. So you would think, oh, Tatum's getting ISO. Like,
not really, though.
No, he's not. So again, it was like 30%. And again, I'm just rough guessing, but it was 30% was catch and shoot. 18% was fast breaks. It was another like 32% was pick and rolls. Mm-hmm. And only 2.6% was ISO.
Right.
And you would think, like, wait, they got Tatum and he's doing all these. They just don't get it. Like, it's not what you guys think.
Yeah. And
I try to tell the kids this, and you know.
But they see the highlight of the one or two times he did go ISO.
Yeah.
But really, in the league now too, if you really watch an NBA game,
yeah,
every like 99% of is out of an action.
Yes.
So it's an action that creates a rotation or an advantage. Right, and then the ball, you have to make the right read.
Yeah,
where are they helping from? And a lot of times in the NBA, you can anticipate where the help is going to come from based on who you are and who you're playing with, because you know how this team covers certain things based on the personnel, right?
Yeah.
So you already watch film, or you should if you're prepared.
Yeah.
You already watch film, like, okay, when Jason Tatum and whoever the big is, what's the big's name?
Horford.
Yeah, let's say Jason Tatum and Horford are in a pick and roll situation. Yeah. You know how they're going to guard it. And a lot of these defenses are playing drop or whatever,
right,
or icing the sideline, right?
Yeah.
So you know how they're going to cover it. You know, on the other side, they're going to rotate to this guy because he's a better shooter. Mm-hmm. So you can kind of anticipate where the backside help is going to come from. So you kind of know in your head, okay, most likely this is what I'm looking for.
Right.
But if he does this, then I can make this read.
Exactly.
So you're kind of more prepared, right? And now they create the rotation, and now we're playing advantage, closeout situation, catch and shoot, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
And that's how majority of your points are scored. So in college as well.
Yeah.
So now, or you're coming off pin, whatever the case may be, whatever type of split action. And so now these kids, they don't know how to play that style of play at all.
Right.
And they don't know how to go or how to make reads out of actions.
And again,
and then they don't know how to, they're not gonna, their game won't translate to the next level. And that's why they're not getting recruited.
That's where I blame, that's where I say some of the blame is on this AAU culture, because again, if you're the heavy on the recruiting side, where you're just recruiting the best players and you're just basically out, you got the whole backs, you got all the athletes, that you're just bigger, stronger, and faster than your opponent.
Right.
Yeah, you're 70, I would say 90% of the time you're going to win, especially on the youth level, because like we talked about before the show, you guys can't stop discrediting age is not a factor. I understand and I accept that reclassing is just a part of this culture, which I don't really have a problem with, but I hate the opposite argument where they say, so what, they all hoopers. Shut the fuck up. You know, if this kid is 15 years old, going against this kid
13.
that's 13, he has
an
a distinct advantage.
Yeah.
And it's okay. I'm going to tell my kid, deal with it. Yeah, he's got an advantage. You got to deal with it. That's like if I'm guarding a guy who's fucking 6'10" and I'm 6'5", that's what it is.
To me, I don't even mind it because, like I said, like I have my kid. Some of our kids are younger. Like on our 8th grade team, like, you know, Baker, Braxton, some talented kids. They're in 7th grade playing on our elite 8th grade team and starting. Like in Baker, man, he be dropping 30 balls on the 8th graders that are sometimes 2 or 3 years older than him. You know what I'm saying? And for me, great, because this is making him better.
Yes.
But for the guys that are doing that, like, I just don't understand why they do it again, because the coach and the program wants to win.
Yeah.
But
and the
this
clout
is not what's better for the kid. That kid, like, I'm not going to say the team, but there's an 8th grade kid that's 6'9" and skilled. We playing against him. He's 6'9" in 8th grade.
Yeah.
Our biggest player is like 6'3" maybe.
Right.
And he's shooting turnaround, fadeaway jump shots, handling the ball, getting to the rack. Like, he should be playing 17.
Yeah. Like, he should be finding open runs and just playing against grown men.
Like, or he shouldn't be in 8th grade.
Right, exactly.
Like, he should be in high school right now playing varsity.
Right.
And that would be the best thing for his development. But instead, you hold him back to play against 8th graders and be the best 8th grader in the nation, or one of the best 8th graders in the nation, and get the clout, which is cool. But, like, at the end of the day, it all evens out.
It does. And I'm gonna say this, and I put it on record out there because I've said it numerous times. Some of you tournaments just need to make a reclass division. That's just my opinion. You need to make a reclass division so all those teams that are, you know, have a heavy amount of reclass kids can all play each other, and then we get the overall objective, which should be the development. Because if you have all those kids going against each other, and they're, you know, battling it out and making each other better, you're getting your objective. And it's a fair playing field, as opposed to, let's say, if you have, you know, most of the teams that are typically the right age kids, and maybe you have one reclass or whatever. Like I think on my 8th grade, I got one reclass. It's like, okay, cool, that's fine. Like, but when I'm going against 8 or 9 of them,
but
it's
the
just
other
too
thing
hard.
too is that I'm not even against the reclass, because for some kids it makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like some kids that are maybe developing slower.
Yeah.
There's kids actually. This is something that was brought to my attention recently. Mm-hmm. There's some kids that are born prematurely.
Yeah.
So really, their physical age isn't the same as their birth age.
As their birth age, yep.
So like now, these kids are physically less developed. So maybe that being held back is going to give them a better chance.
Yeah.
But when you're already the kid that's bigger, stronger, faster than everybody, why
are you waiting on?
Why are you getting held back?
Because to me, all you're doing is taking away high school years from yourself, which are very valuable years that you need, right? So parents, again, you got to use your discernment. You got to use your best judgment. You're listening to guys who are heavy in this game, and we're not saying reclassing is wrong or reclassing is right. We're just saying you do have to gauge your individual situation and do what's best for you, right?
100%.
Like,
and do it for the right reasons.
Yes.
That's the thing right there.
Like you guys got to understand, this is a numbers game, and I'm big on this, and I think I did a whole video on this just to explain the numbers. But if you want to be good at this game and you want to play it at its highest levels, and when I mean its high. Let me make it clear. When I'm describing its highest levels, I mean be a high-level varsity high school athlete with the chance to play college at any level. You have to understand the numbers are against you. They just are. You know what I mean? That's why if you guys from the outside can't understand why there's like a unspoken respect amongst guys who've played collegiately. It don't matter if it's a JC guy all the way to an NBA guy. There's kind of an unspoken mutual understanding that we were able to be in something that others weren't. You know what I mean? Now, of course, there's levels to this shit. Like, you know, 2 D1 guys might have a different mutual respect than, let's say, you know, 2 NAI guys, right? But there's an understanding that we're the very small percentage that got a chance to do this at any level, right? We know at some point we had to work out all the time. At some point we had to wake up for weights. At some point we had to keep our grades right. At some point we were broke as shit and hungry and figuring it out. At some point there's just all those
top ramen days.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, that's why I love that when Deshaun and them did that the Netflix show, you know, showing what JUCO levels like. because it brought a lot of memories back for me. You know, I was like, fuck, like that was me at Sac City, right?
Yeah.
So it's like they don't understand that that's where that respect comes from. So you guys understand, like that's why, you know, we can kind of tell the guys who really played and maybe did some stuff and the guys who don't, like whether they say it or not, we just have an understanding there because we know the struggle we've been through. So, but kids, you gotta remember, and parents, the numbers are not on your side.
Right.
They're just not. And the thing is, if you can accept that and accept the challenge of it, then you're starting mentally in the right spot. And I think sometimes in our business, because parents pay, they think what they're actually paying for is the spot. You know what I mean? That's
what makes our job hard, is trying to give kids the real and help them be able to understand and learn the things that are going to help them actually reach their goals. But
Yep.
at the same time, we have customers that feel entitled to playing time or feel entitled to certain things because they pay.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, what are you really paying for? Are you paying for playing time, or are you paying for someone to actually help your kid get to where they want to go?
I always try to tell them you're paying
No.
for a high-level basketball experience.
Exactly.
That's what you're paying for.
Exactly.
And at the highest level, you can get cut. At the highest level, your ass can sit the bench.
That's
You-
what's going
you're
on.
like,
You gotta earn, and this is the thing that like, because of my experience too, like,
yeah,
like I always was. If I'm being honest, man, like I feel like even in high school, I was under recruited.
Mm-hmm.
I was getting some interest. Like the biggest schools I had interest from was Iowa State and
Okay.
St. Mary's.
yeah,
But they never offered.
right.
Right. But I feel like you know how it is in SAC.
Yeah.
It's a little bit overlooked market,
Yeah.
like, in terms of recruiting
Because you're kind of competing with the Bay and all that type of
LA.
stuff
Yeah,
in LA.
it's just
yeah,
like
yeah.
there's not as much eyes here.
Right.
And at the time, I didn't really understand that.
Yeah.
I feel like I probably could have played at a higher level based on what I did in AAU and even in high school, you know, leading our team deep to the playoffs, playing against some of those guys that had high level offers,
Yeah.
and honestly getting the best of them.
Right.
And I think that, you know, doing that, it just makes it hard for us.
Yeah.
And I just lost my whole train of thought.
No, you're fine. We're,
What were you saying?
we're talking about parents think when they pay for that basketball experience.
So
you know what I mean?
what I was saying is that it's super important that people, like, I've always had to earn it.
Yeah.
And I think it's super important for kids to learn the process of earning it, what that looks like and what it takes
Yeah.
to earn it, earn your way.
Yep.
And that's one of the biggest things, too, that we talk about life skills that translates beyond basketball. Because no matter what you do, you got to earn it.
Yeah.
So when things aren't going your way, how do you respond?
100%.
Are you going to, is it like, and we all had to learn this, because the easiest thing to do is what? Point the finger at something else, at the reason why you're not where you want to be, or you're not getting what you want to get.
Or quit.
Or quit. It's your coach's fault. It's my teammates don't like me. It's whatever the case may be. Or even like, you know, and some of us come from worse backgrounds than others.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it's easy to have victim mentality.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I don't have those resources. I don't have, but it's like, okay, well, I get that, and that's maybe true.
Right.
But at the end of the day, everyone has a decision.
Man,
Are you going to let it defeat you, or are you going to...
I tell these kids, I didn't know what a fucking gun was, a shooting machine, till I got to college.
Man, for real. And that's what I'm saying, like, and, you know, I don't always like to speak on it, but at the same time, it's like everybody has to make a decision on whether or not they're going to let their circumstances define who they become.
Yeah.
And everybody has different circumstances. Everybody has, some people have more privileges. I have more privileges than probably you had
Yeah.
growing up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And everyone has a different levels of their privilege or their background, whatever the case
It's what
may
you
be.
do with it, though.
Exactly. And no matter where you come from, you have the ability to have work ethic, and you have the ability to make something of yourself if you decide that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's just something that you know, I think is important. Learning that process, learning how to earn it, and learning that shit ain't gonna be given to you.
No.
And that's the thing, that a lot of times people get in situations, and I've had kids that I've dealt with that are really talented, and their entire life everything was given to them, like we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
And when they got to that level, they didn't know how to earn it.
Yeah.
They folded.
Yeah.
And it was all mental.
Right.
Talent was there.
Yeah.
All mental.
Right. Because
you know what I'm saying?
we've gotten to, again, we're in a climate where, everybody gets a ribbon.
Right.
You get everyone gets a trophy. Everyone fucking feels good, right? And so that's why I think, that's why I say with me, I'm a, love me or hate me coach, right? Like some people will really be like, some people you talk to like, man, Chris, love that guy, love his passion. He has that old school grit. I teach the game the way it's played and the new style of play, but I still have my old school mentality in terms of like, you got to work hard, you got to dive on the ground, you got to, have a chip on your shoulder. You got to have I tell them a healthy level of hate for your opponent. Not that you want to see this person hurt or you want to see, but you got to look at them like you're the guy preventing me from what I want. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna beat you.
Yeah, I'm gonna be
I'm gonna
like,
do what it takes,
bro. Like I'm telling you, it's hard for me in this culture. I'll say the most difficult for me in this culture is when, I played my 8th grade played against ABA, and we lost by 6 or whatever, and my 8th grade, like a couple of the players are friends with some of those guys because they go to the same middle school or whatever and things like that. And so after they just beat us,
they hanging out.
They shaking hands, and it's like I'm looking at it, I'm like, how the fuck are y'all just cool with them just beating you? And it's like, because I've got, I don't know about you, but I've got even some of my closest friends who are hoopers to this day, and I love them to death. Like we've gotten damn near to blows because.
And me and Amir will tell you that me and Amir have thrown hands one time,
right.
And we bored,
right? You know what I mean?
Grew up hooping, but it's like, but also we respect each other more because of it.
Yeah, because
we know, like, okay, and iron sharpens iron.
Yes,
we used to work out together every day, play ones, foul each other, talk like it was like that. Like, but afterwards we could be cool, right? But maybe like 2 hours after, it might take 2 hours before I ain't talking to you,
right? You know what I mean? Like again, that's what I'm saying. I could go like in my practices, we have our scrimmages. It gets super fucking competitive. Yeah. Like guys are. This is I got plenty of wild stories. And I'm getting all of it, but I'm just saying it got super competitive, and then of course you get in the locker room and you're like, hey man, let's go eat. You know what I mean? Like, but it's. That's
even still, I'm still talking shit.
Yeah, it's different, bro.
Like you might have got me today, but tomorrow I'm busting your ass.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
That's
like,
all
exactly. And I just
for real,
I don't know. And maybe, like I said, maybe I'm just getting old, man. I told the boys after that. I said, man, how can y'all just be comfortable after losing like this? In in my opinion, a winnable game, and you guys just underperform. You just you let them physically dominate you, like why? How are you just okay with this? Literally 2 minutes later, and just like laughing about it, and that's a me thing, right? That's a thing, a transition thing. I guess I got to get over a little bit, but if there's any advice I can give you kids out there, for the ones who listen to my show or check it out on YouTube, you got to find a competitive edge. You got to have a little bit of healthy hate. I say that's why I just use the term healthy hate. Because I don't want no kid out there looking to hurt anybody or anything like that. But you do got to start looking at your opponents, even if they're your friends. Like I have to win. I always say this on my shows, especially when I had Sean Chambers and DT and all those guys. I tell them, like, guys like us who have that competitive edge. Kevin Garnett said, he said something wrong with us. We're not normal people. We're not normal people. At the end of the day, you can't accomplish or do what you want in this game.
You can't be extraordinary being ordinary.
You can't. And that's what I try to tell them. So I said, it starts up here. You do have to have something mentally off where, like, you lose, it makes you angry. Like, it just makes you frustrated. I said, I have it to this day, even when I'm coaching, even when I'm playing in open runs. And I'm
the kids now, they be cool with losing. Like, I'm like, I told the kids the other day, I'm like, man, if I miss the game winning shot, I'm going right to the gym.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I missed the game winning shot. I'm about to go put 500 up. That shit is not happening again.
Yeah, exactly. But now if
I felt tired in a game and we lost, because I felt tired in the overtime or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm going to run.
But now it's kind of
You know what I'm
like
saying?
we lose and
Whatever.
that's
Go
cool.
get
I'm gonna
pizza.
go, get on my phone and make a damn TikTok video or something. Like I'm like, come
I
on,
remember
man.
if I had a bad game in college, man, I put my shoes back on. I'm going back on the court after the game and
Right.
put some work in because I'm so pissed. Like that's just like, but it's like, it's just and no one had to tell me to do that. Like,
Yeah.
I was just so mad. I'm like, nah, like.
What I will
I'm about to
say,
go do
what I
this.
will say is in this day and age, you could still see the people that are like that, even
Nah,
in the
for
NBA.
sure.
Like
For sure.
Giannis Antetokounmpo is one I think is you could tell losing tortures
Right.
him. Like you know what I
Right.
mean? Like he manages it well, but you could tell like he doesn't like that. So there are people still out there like that. Just so
There
you
are.
understand, like
But it's just like you're not gonna make it to that highest level if you don't have that competitor in you. Like you got to be a dog. Like you got to be a competitor. Like everything, and that's why they say Michael Jordan competitive on everything. Like you
Yeah.
playing a card game, he's ready to cuss your ass out. It don't matter, right?
like I
Because
said,
it's different.
You're not normal. Well, having you as a guest, and now, I just want you, if you have any last words or any shout outs or anything you want to say to the general public, this would be the time. And then, we'll wrap it up and get out of here.
Man, well, first and foremost, I appreciate you,
No problem,
having
man.
me on the show, and also just, getting to know you better and seeing everything that you're doing. Like you said, man, it's just a lot of respect coming from my way.
Appreciate that, bro.
And,
Big time.
Just keep doing what you're doing and keep grinding. And
I'ma try, man.
When the opportunity arises for us to work together again, we're going to do it.
I
Make some
appreciate
stuff
that.
happen.
Yeah.
And again, I just appreciate you. I appreciate, all the families and everyone that's ever believed in what we're doing and has decided to invest in their kids and support our program, right? Because I think that's huge, What we do wouldn't be possible without the trust of the parents and the support of the families that support our programs.
Yeah.
And also the players, even some of the older guys.
Yep.
So, shout out to all of the families and all the people that support what we do, YBA as well as Touch Studio.
Yep.
And, man, we just really appreciate it. I know you do as well.
Yeah.
And
I try to express as much as I can, right?
no doubt, no doubt. And, I also just appreciate my mentors. I have a guy, of course, Phil Handy. I appreciate, one of my other mentors who I got a sports psychology certification with, Ken Baum.
Mm-hmm.
He's a big reason why I had a lot of success as a player, working on the mental side of things.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, to everybody out there, we're developing a mental skills curriculum right now. So stay tuned for that because, as you know, the game is 90% mental.
Yes.
And I think that's a big missing piece in a lot of training and coaching is that not just mental skills, but mental health.
Yeah.
And making sure that the kids are mentally in a good space because you can't really commit to being great if your mindset is messed up or your mental health it ain't right.
Yeah.
Or
I
you're
agree.
depressed or whatever the case may be, whatever you may be dealing with. It's hard to be at a high level of anything when you're not aligned, right?
Yep.
So I think that's a huge thing, and we're working on building stuff like that to support our athletes with that. And man, some of my guys, I really just appreciate them trusting me, like Janathan Williams, who's now on a two-way with the Houston Rockets, man. He trusted me to do his pre-draft, and man, we was in the gym grinding.
Yeah.
We was in the lab 5 times a day,
All right.
getting to work, and, saw great strides, great improvement from him. He's having a lot of success being an underdog, trying to get to the league, worked his way into a two-way, playing really well, just dropped 27 the other day in the G League.
Nice.
Been with the Houston, playing well. Sometimes he'll play like 5 minutes, but every time he plays, he does well.
Hey,
He'll have
that's
5
all that
minutes,
matters.
4 points, 4 rebounds.
He's
Like,
there. He's there.
He's
He's there.
He just needs an opportunity. Like he could play.
Yeah.
And just a lot of other guys, man, that we got that's having a lot of success. And I just love to see these kids develop that work ethic and see the process.
Yeah.
And then see where they are now is just like amazing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And even some of the kids that we coach at Prolific and GSP, like kids that, like Darion Trammell, he has 0 offers. I kid you not when I say I talked to over 100 coaches about him. Every coach said the same thing.
What?
We love him, but he's just too small. He's 5'9".
Oh, okay.
Same story I get with Kevin Hop.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Love him, but size.
He's a great player.
Yeah.
Like him, but, you know, our coach likes bigger guards. Okay. But guess what? Darion Trammell has now led San Diego State to the national championship game last year, and now they're top 25 again this year.
There you
and
go.
He's starting point guard at 5'9".
There you go.
So for me, I'm always like, man, I don't care how big you are. If
For
you're a
real.
dog and you
If
can
you
hoop,
can play.
it don't matter.
Yep.
But, you know, when you're small and seeing guys be able to go through that, you know, those types of adversities and being overlooked and still be able to persevere,
Yeah.
it inspires me.
Right.
Like, and people don't realize, like, as a trainer and a coach, I learn from the players.
Yeah.
Just as much as they learn from me, I learn from them.
But you take pride,
You know what I'm saying?
watching them succeed.
No, for sure. Like, I love to see these guys have success. And especially when I know they earned it.
Yeah.
Like, man, he deserves it. Because, like, I was getting frustrated for him because I'm like, bro, I watched this kid dominate players that are ranked top 50.
Yeah.
I watch him, you know, and work every day. We in the gym every day at 6 a.m. doing skill work. Then we got practice. Then we back in the gym later doing more skill work. Then we in the weight room.
Yeah.
I see the work ethic. I see the mentality he has. He deserved it.
Right.
And it was frustrating when no one was giving him, you know, the time of day. Same thing with Kevin. I feel like he deserves an opportunity. But I know he's probably not going to get a D1 offer right now because of the landscape.
But like you said, he can prove
I know,
himself.
Exactly. But I know that he could play at that level.
Yeah.
Because I see him play every day. I see him the way he works. And I see him play against NBA players, and it's fine. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, like, I know he could play at that level. But, again, I can't blame a college coach that just doesn't know.
Yeah.
He ain't proved it yet, so I get it. But, you know, just seeing these guys that maybe are smaller or maybe, you know, kind of are the underdogs and in the long run are able to have success. Like, I know Kevin's going to be successful. He's going to eventually going to get an opportunity to play, you know. And same thing with my other guy, Ben Roseborough, who's kind of had a bad run of luck and adversity with.
He's finding his way though.
He is, man.
He's finding his way.
And God willing, he was able to commit to San Jose State.
Yeah.
Which is great. He's working on getting healthy right now. And when I tell you that kid has all the talent, you know.
Yeah, of course.
He hasn't played one game of basketball in his junior or senior year of high school and still had several D1 offers.
Yeah.
And the kid is talented, great kid. I love Ben. That's like my little brother.
Yeah.
And I wish, you know, he's in a great mental space right now. So I just can't wait to see, you know, as he gets healthy, what he's able to accomplish in the coming years. So just seeing, you know, I'm excited to see some of these younger guys getting their next opportunities. I'm excited to see some of the guys that are already kind of doing it. Like, you know, Coleman, he has a chance to go to the draft next year. He's killing it at Illinois. 6'10", great passer, great shooter. You know, game translates to the league. You know, I could go down the list.
Yeah, no doubt.
A lot of guys, but
no, you got plenty of guys I know you could talk about. I mean, again, thank you for coming to the show. Thank you for making this happen. I really appreciate it. And for you guys who are listening, if you listen to the whole episode, you're a real one. If you listen to pieces of it and get to the end, you're a real one. I appreciate you. And again, hit that like and subscribe. Follow us on IG. All his links will be in the description. Of course, all my links will always be there. Again, hopefully this is helping you coaches, you trainers, you players, you parents out, because that's the goal of this show, is to give you free game, free information. As he said, knowledge is power, right? So, you know, keep grinding, keep doing your thing. Again, AAU's high school season's around the corner for you guys that are going to sections in state. You know, best of luck to you. I'm hoping to get you guys some more good episodes, some more great guests. Hopefully Ryan comes back, does a part 2, a part 3, maybe a guest as a co-host. Either way, I still want you a part of this.
Let's do it.
But yeah, anything left, or you good?
We good, man. Who's next? Who's next on the show?
I'm trying to get Quentin
Thomas.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's coming.
That's
he's going to be here next Friday.
Okay.
Yeah, so
That's
that'll be a really good episode. I get to reminisce with my homie, with my little bro. So yeah, please stay tuned for that. Quentin Thomas played at North Carolina, won a ring with North Carolina with Tyler Hansbrough, I think was his teammate at the time. So go ahead and check that out. Other than that, everybody stay safe, stay healthy, and we are out.